Are we live? What's up, chat? We live? All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see.
All right.
Gotta get my coffee.
Understood. Understood.
Cafe Bustelo.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Oh yeah. This is I think this is gonna be a good episode. But depends if they show up. I know Extreme shows up. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we're all fashionably late here. You know what I'm saying? We that dudes that show up late to the party. You understand what I'm saying? We fashionably late. You know? That's how we roll. We you know, we roll in. We roll in on the red carpet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hope JayDub shows up because he actually has been playing Forza for a little bit.
Okay.
So he actually has
Okay.
inside. Now, I'm still down. I forgot it came out. I mean, I literally so I got home and I'm looking at the alert on my Xbox app on my phone, and I'm like, oh, that's right, that did come out.
You know what?
So
You know what's funny? You're not the only one. I seen people say that. I see people at the timeline that are like, wait a minute, Forza's out? And I'm like, whoa. Like, what is going on? Now, granted, this Forza, I would say compared to the past, probably didn't have the level of marketing that the other ones did. I could have sworn I seen a bit more marketing on that one, but yeah, it was just interesting. Like, I don't know, like for real, you're not the only one where I seen people comment that say they didn't even know it was out. That's pretty, that's pretty interesting. But shout out to the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? While we here, who we got up in here? We got Jack. Don't forget to submit your vote. For the poll. But we got Jackknife Nick up in here. George, what's up? Brian East, Danny Stab is up in here. Jeff B Gaming, Spider Silva, what's going on? Who else we got up in here? Who else is rocking out? King Manuel, what's going on? Infinity is up in here. Shout out to you. Who else? Everybody's enjoying the chat. Jimmy Harrison, my brother, man. How's everything, man? How's everything with the family? We got Leech up in here. That's Misi. What's going on? Hold on. What's going on, my brother? Man, you've been rocking out with me for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, my brother. Shout out to That's Misi, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to everybody
You know
in the seat. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, hold on. Wait, what happened to my screen? What's going on here? What are we doing? Like, where's my screen frozen? Oh, okay, we got it. Hold on. Let me do this. Let's see what happens. Oh, man, my screen is... Man, my Xbox better not be doing no damn update. Boy, I will slap the shit out of Phil Spencer. Better cut it out. I'm trying to do all this weird shit. Especially when I have like all the settings to do it like in the middle of the night. And it's not like I turn off my laptop, right? I don't leave it off. Man, Xbox trying to kill my vibe. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy. It's just cool. What the hell's going on here? You know what? We're gonna leave this alone. Let me fix this real quick. All right, we're gonna leave this alone. All right. Okay. Who else we got up in here? We got Corey Masi. What's up? Outside Gaming Night, Porter Rock. Hurry up, yo! I'm here. Brian East. What's up? Everybody's excited. Everybody's spicy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't not like a good internal struggle. You understand what I'm saying? Mad Joe, what's going on? The Ruham, my brother. Grand opening, grand closing. We got Sergeant, 12 up in here. Diablo Dark Matter, what's going on? Everybody's happy. True Virgil. I make babies. Oh shit! But you better take care of them. You make them, you take care of them. What else we got here? We got Germany. Who? What's up? He's laughing because his Xbox. Trust me, I know. Believe me, I know firsthand. Germany gives two shits about Xbox. It's unbelievable. Prince Philip, the Claymores. What's going on? Leo Murrah, EU. Here we go. Cryptopsy, what's up? Cryptopsy, what's up? Smoothie, movie. You know, I like that name. That name, for whatever reason, I like that name. Smoothie, movie. You need to add more O's to that one. James Williams, Steady Flow, Danny Stab. What's going on? Hey, everybody's coming in. Plus Ultra. Don't worry, Jimmy Harrison. You're gonna hear everybody's take. Today's gonna be fun, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what the thing is, internal civil war between PlayStation is more fun than PlayStation versus Xbox. Because the reality is, Xbox don't really got much to fight with. So so it's like you're picking on people. We're more like bullies, to be honest. This isn't really console war. This is more like high school, and we're just bullying Xbox gamers at this point. Like, there's really no. I mean, they say they hold the line, but
yeah,
really, really, we're gonna take back the generation.
Okay.
Like, really? They're throwing spitballs at our tanks. I mean, like, it's just like, come on, man, you gotta come in. I mean, think about it, right? This year they got Star Tile, the game of the gen, and that shit went out like a wet diaper.
Yeah, it's
like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying. He said, you mean Star Load. Star Tile, it's, enjoy it. Yeah. I need to wait till they actually optimize the PC version, because I got a 3050, right? So I'll be hurting playing the game the way it is now. A lot of real, gamers, because I got, real, everybody's real gamer. Well, anyway, I got gamers, that, look out for me, I get some real info.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's doing okay on it's actually, if you have an AMD setup, it's
because it's optimized for that, right? They optimized for FSR and all that, but for NVIDIA they didn't include the DLSS, but now they promised they will do it. So I gotta wait for those updates, and then the mod community is gonna further make improvements. So the guy's telling me, like, don't even bother now. Just wait for the mods, wait for the DLSS improvements. You'll have a better experience if you're just patient. I'm like, you know what? I have no issues, because if you're telling me right now, I'm not gonna have a good experience with the setup I got. But once they optimize it, add these improvements, and my communities have apparently some great plans to even make the game, load faster, run smoother, which is insane that you got PC gamers that are really good at modding games doing a better job than the actual developers. This shit is just bugged out, right? But anyway, the brain says machine learning. Yo, y'all seen them videos of Forza, them cars crashing into each other? I'm like, yo, Microsoft really try to use ChatGPT to run this game, bro. Shit is crazy. This shit is crazy, man. But anyway, hey, Craig, how you been doing, brother? Well, shout out first. I want to say shout out to the chat. Thank you so much for rocking out. Really, truly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully we'll see, the crew come through. I sent out the signal, the Thundercat signal. Thundercats, ho! And they out there like, yeah, nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here by myself. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but we'll see how it is. I hope they come out here, because there's some very good. They said ChatGPT now. Yeah, Forza's running on ChatGPT AI.
Apparently it's struggling. I mean, I've heard some real bad stuff, so hopefully it's not as bad as what they say it is. I've seen some stuff too, but I'm downloading it now. So.
No lie, ChatGPT is amazing though. I'm really impressed with that thing. I'm like, yo, like, my God, man. Like, for you guys who are going through school now, you're in high school, or you guys are going through college now, you are so goddamn lucky. Like, you're so goddamn lucky that you live in this internet world. Because in my day, I had to go to the library and read books that was 10 years outdated. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally, ChatGPT can literally write a book report for you guys, man. Like literally. Like you literally say, hey, write a 5-page report, you know, on these parameters with references. And that sucker will spit it out for you, you know? Now, some of you college dudes or students today are stupid as hell because you guys literally just copy and paste it and give it to the teacher. Like, bro, you guys, your street smarts suck. Like, you guys do not have 90s street smart kids, right? Because what you do is you reword everything, bro. Like, seriously. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all literally copy and paste. Yo, y'all weird. Y'all want to be slick, but y'all don't really do slick shit. This shit's crazy. But I'm going to say that ChatGPT is insane, man. That shit is crazy, man. It's absolutely insane what that thing is doing, right? But apparently it can't do Forza and stuff like that. But hey, Craig, man, how you been? How's everything with you?
Everything's okay. Hanging in there. It's okay. You know, enjoying it, enjoying the ride, so to speak. Did a short video yesterday about you know, how people need to start donating to their favorite YouTubers so that they can get the Spider-Man console. And
what was that? What was that about? What was that about? What do you mean donate to their favorite YouTuber? What's going on?
You say donate to your favorite YouTubers.
Oh, wait. Are they broke or something? Like what? The
ad revenue?
The ad revenue ain't hitting?
Yeah, I guess it's not hitting like they need it to, and people need to step up in that chat with that super chat money. I told them that it's not, and I was telling them, you know, that it's not for, you know, it's not for my, you know, it's for all of us. Like if they were to get the Spider-Man console for me, then their console would convert to a Spider-Man console, you know, so. And so yeah, that way they need to go ahead and donate to their favorite YouTuber and get it done. And now, you know, now I can tell you that now I you know, now they're gonna add the PlayStation Slim to that. So y'all need to step up. You need to step your game up and get their super chat money out.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
We're making money.
Okay. Yeah, we you know, I'm distributing 10 cents.
Oh, nice.
But you have to pay the taxes.
Oh shit.
And you're paying American tax. You know, how's taxes in Australia? Like, is it okay? Is it moderate? Like, first, let me ask you a question. I don't know. So, like regular government taxes. Hey, let me make first question. Australia, do you guys have universal health care?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Man, you guys are so lucky.
Of course. I mean, could you imagine like a first world country that universal healthcare? That's fucking.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Could you imagine? you clearly never bought a plane ticket to America.
Oh, I've been to America. That's why I haven't been back. Are you kidding?
Fuck you. Let me tell you a story.
You get sick over here. We're not sending you back until you pay us.
Let me tell you something. This is a true story. True story, right? True story. I tell no lie. You know, because there's no reason to lie when the true stories is so much better than the lie, right? So, not gonna go into it, but my wife got sick, really, really sick one day. So we had to call an ambulance. Now, I'm in the military. Mind you, I am active duty military. I got 100% healthcare covered for me and my wife. You know, it's covered, everything. We don't pay nothing, right? It's covered. In the military. 100% funded, right? Okay. So anyway, ambulance picks us up. They take her to the hospital, blah, 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 whatever, okay? She had to do, this was years ago. She had to stay like almost 3 days. It was a heart condition. But anyway, so whatever. Luckily, everything's resolved. Thank God. God is good. But anyway, about 2 weeks later, I get a bill, mind you, for $750 for that ambulance ride.
Okay, yeah, now, sounds right. Yeah,
$750.
Yep.
For an emergency situation, right? So now, luckily, I didn't pay it because I said, "Hey, I called the hospital. I'd be like, why am I being billed this?" They said, "Oh, because blah blah blah." I'm like, "Hey, I'm active duty military. I have insurance. You should have charged insurance." "Oh, we don't have that on our record." But I'm like, "Hold on, you charged everything else. So how did you misstep this?" They're like, "Oh, okay. Hey, I'll call back tomorrow and make sure you have everything settled." So yeah, they settled everything. Now, the one thing I did learn that's actually not the first time that happened to active duty military, because I mentioned the story to my friends or whatever, And they looked at me like, yo, that shit happened to me. And then another friend's like, yo, that happened to me too. And I'm like, whoa, I see the game. What they try to do is they first try to hit you up and see if you're stupid enough to pay the bill out of pocket. Because the reason why is while they're billing you $750 for the actual insurance, it's a reduced rate. So it ends up being like $350 because that's like the deal when you understand what I'm saying? Because that's how insurance plans work. Like a hospital that accepts insurance plans and the insurance is going to pay the hospital, they don't pay the normal rate. They agree to pay the reduced rate, right? But a hospital don't want the reduced rate. So they might sucker you, send you a bill, and see if you get scared into paying the bill out of pocket and not really say, hey, I got insurance. This should have already been paid by the insurance plan. That's how shady this whole thing is. It's fucking shady.
They're billers. The billers is I do billing, and it's most of your codes.
Oh, so it's your fault. You that dude. You're that dude. You trying to take my $750? Nah, you trying to take my $750?
No,
Craig.
That's a different code.
I need my PS5 Pro, and you trying to take my money, Craig. Craig, no. I'm playing.
It generates a ambulance is automatically that's an outside bill, and it's a HCPCS code. So normally your normal insurance will get billed. And then the HCPCS codes, that's what it's called, will come in. And the HCPCS codes are the weird codes. You know, if you're outside underneath the tree and a branch falls off, that's where your codes are. It'll say hit by falling object. You put that in, and then you can go into more detail. What kind of falling object? Where did it hit them? So the more detail the more details you put in, the higher the billing cycle. But yeah, ambulances. That's why you see them walking around with that stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's always one or two of them. One of them has your vitals on the tablet. The other one has your bill, and they have to turn that in and that get to the station and all that kind of stuff. So you're right. They shouldn't have charged you for it, and it's good that you said, well, that's why what they said to you, we don't have that on record. That's what they meant. You don't have it on record, so therefore you're getting we want cash, baby. You know, so
you trying to take my PS5 Pro. Nah, I ain't trying to hear that bullshit. Trying to take my PS5 Pro.
Well, that's why the people need to step up and donate that super chat money to their favorite YouTuber.
This guy. Oh shit. But yeah, man.
Just hit ambulance money, so feel free to do it.
Yeah, right. It's just terrible, man. Like America really needs to step up. Like it's just ridiculous. Anyway, M, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, my friend. I'm doing good.
Okay, everything's good, man. You've any new games? Any new games?
Oh, what have I been playing? I've been going back to Miles Morales, seeing if I can just get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. You getting ready? You getting ready?
To chase that. Oh yeah, man.
You getting ready for Spider-Man 2?
Oh yeah, man. Gotta get the muscle memory back in.
You know, I know what you mean. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Such a beautiful game. Yeah, actually, that's been the only thing that I've been playing. But actually, this week has been more like watching Disney. You know, enjoying Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Good show.
Yeah, that was great.
I gotta get started on that.
That was so good. Yeah, it was so well written. Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy did it. Oh yeah, but if you should watch Clone Wars and Rebels. You get a lot more of that sandwich. If you know the characters and stuff like that. But yeah, it was. I'm not gonna spoil it. Just sensational writing. You know, so I'll leave it there.
I was going to say that Ahsoka is definitely, as a person that is not a Star Wars fan and I don't know all of the context, it was only a good show for me, like an 8 out of 10. But I can imagine for the people that are deeply like immersed into the lore and understand everything, that thing will blow you away because
I was shocked. yeah. But I'm glad people are enjoying it and it's being introduced to new fans. And I thought they got the perfect person to. Well, again, if you watch Rebels.
Yeah. No, I like what M said. Yeah, I like what M said because sometimes you just don't want to rely on the show because of the IP. You want the show just to be good in its own right. So I like hearing that you're not a fan of Star Wars per se, but it still ended up being a good show. And that's how it should be, right? The show should just all shows, all content.
Be good,
Like the IP should empower the goodness. The goodness should just be the product itself, but within the lore of the IP. So I really like hearing that. That's really good.
This I don't really like the big Star Wars stories. Like I've never really enjoyed the movies that much. I always like the smaller stories. I think Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Rogue was good.
Yeah, that was
Rogue One is a 10 out of 10, no matter if you know the context.
Yeah, I agree.
Ahsoka is definitely that. The first 3 seasons of The Mandalorian were that. Endor was a complete miss for me, but people like that, so there's that. But typically for me, smaller.
You like the smaller side stories.
Yeah, smaller side stories are so much better than the bigger stuff. And I feel like.
What about Kenobi? Did you say
Kenobi? I enjoyed that.
I like Kenobi.
I think I watched it, but my brain was asleep. Like I was like, I don't see it.
It was slow. Kenobi was slow to like the last 4 episodes. Yeah, I thought those were good. Andor is
Kenobi
a prequel to Rogue One.
And Mandalorian was great. I love the Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's a really good show.
Except for season 3. They fucked up season 3. And I'm not talking about this whole woke BS. I'm just saying that they made it about a character that he was not. Like, it doesn't matter if she was a man or woman. Because I hate it when you say, like, oh, they messed this up. And then you have to go into the whole, oh, it's because it was a woman coming. Like, I don't care. It's just because I'm here to see the man.
I get it.
Not someone else take the shine. Like, she should have had her own show. Like, just create her own thing.
You're right.
Which I think they're doing. Which I think that's what
I think they
doing.
are. But you're right. I don't like... I know you hit on the nail. Like the show's called Mandalorian, the show should always be about the Mandalorian. It's like if I'm watching a Batman show, it better not be about Robin. That's what I hate about the Flash. I don't know if you guys watched the Flash on CW.
I did.
You know, it's over. And I was like, I'm not watching this shit.
But the beginning,
the CW one.
The CW one. Yeah, not the movie. The movie, I'm talking about CW. The first few years, the first few seasons of the show was great because it was about the Flash.
The Flash,
Then they converted it to Team Flash, and then it became about the team. And then as time goes on, it wasn't even about him anymore. Like it's about everybody else, and he's just involved. And I'm like, this is stupid. The show is called The Flash. That's it. That's it. Like everybody else is a side piece to the Flash, and it was just like, man, this is frustrating, bro. Like, why do they do this, man? They slowly pull you in to show based on the character, and it does what the title says. And you're like, man, this show is great. Then for whatever reason, it's like season 3, they'd be like, ha, got you. This is what we really want to do. We want the show to be about characters that has nothing to do with the title. Got you, bitch. Like, no!
You're not wrong.
They made it about Archer. You had to watch both shows in tandem in order to keep up with where they were. Because you had to watch Archer as well. And then Archer was like, oh, I've been to the same island 3 times in 17 different ways. First it was uninhabited, then there was a person, then there was an organization, then there was a shadowy organization, then the League of Assassins.
Like the island in the beginning had nobody, but by the end of the show, there was like a secret base.
Cosmopolitan city. There was a whole mega metropolitan city in there. The whole time.
He was never alone. At no point was he ever alone.
I mean, again, they go after the comic book crowd, and they're the ones who are saying, well, we want to see this, we want to see that.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
I didn't mind them bringing in Ra's al Ghul.
Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't mean.
That shit was
them bringing in Ra's al Ghul was actually good for that show, but yeah, it just even the guy that played Oliver Queen, he just got tired of it. It's like it's not going anywhere. It's
the show. You know, some shows can't be like 10 years or 7 years. Like there's only so much story that you can do. 5 years is a sweet spot, and you're good. 4 seasons, maybe. Yeah, 4 seasons, sweet spot. 4 really good seasons, and move on.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
And get the fuck out. You're not a comic book. You can't go perpetual.
You're not the bold and the beautiful. We don't need to show
yeah, as the world turns. Like, no, you're not all my children. Can't do it anyway.
Exactly.
Shout out to
you're not days of our lives. Relax. Relax. We're not going to be here for 30 years.
You're not, like literally families was born and died, and them shows are going on. Like, that's not going to happen. True Virgil, he says, Extreme flew to America to meet Chocolate Thunder. Oh, shit.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Wow,
he said.
What, how did that joke get pinned on me? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. Oh shit! And my boy Liquid Data, he said Kenobi was fire, and I'm waiting for the Acolyte. What's the Acolyte? What's the Acolyte?
Yeah, that's gonna be nice too. That's gonna be the Star Wars story told from the tale of the Sith. So and what they experienced. So that's what the Acolyte's about. I don't know when the timeline. They're going to do High Republic.
They're
going to do High Republic.
The Sith is going to be treated like they're the good guys. Like,
Guys,
let's see what it is now.
Because Star Wars fan, as soon as you just mention a whiff of it, they will not let you end. Just stop it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to move on.
Linux fans. As soon as you mention that you tried Linux, oh my god, just stop it.
Oh shit! All right, okay, all right, my brother. All right, so I guess, hey, we ready to hit these topics? You ready?
Yo,
Sasson Assemble. I like that. Shout out to Wizard57. You know, I always needed a moniker. You know, besides, you know, you're only from these YouTube streets. I needed something else, and I like it. Sasson Assembled. I'm gonna start. You know what? Shout out to Weezer. I'm gonna start doing something with that. You know, because I gotta bring the flavor to this community. Because this community's turning bland.
Oh.
Y'all putting raisins in your goddamn casserole or whatever. Man, stop it. Nah. But anyway, let's just
salad, isn't it?
The potato salad. Like, why? Like, why?
Like,
no. Like, all right, we're gonna go with the next topic. All right, here we go. Let me put this up. It's not really, it's about Forza, but I don't want to make it about Forza. Like, I want to make it about the technology. So if everybody can stay quiet, and I'll have everybody. I know everybody's trying to catch up. All right, ready? Everybody, I need everybody to listen to this. All right, I'm gonna mute my mic.
And the release version, if you look at like the RT reflections on side of cars, they're pretty blurry and they have a lot of temporal lag in them.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm just disappointed in the end at the release of this game. Beyond the issues all the PC version has, you can watch my entire video there, is that it feels like they set out like this high bar and it like slowly got clawed back in PR over time, like, and up until like right before the game released, like where things like RTGI were scrubbed out of like the stuff, like the information about the stuff about PC Online, which left a very bad taste in my mouth. The fact that they showed off the game multiple times with like wishy-washy wording about like what is actually ray tracing on track, because they kept showing off footage where there was quite obviously no ray tracing in it and stuff like that. So like, yeah.
Another bad thing taste on that, Alex, that bothers me is like the ray tracing implementation we see remains consistent even in the replays, right? The replays drop down to 30 frames per second. And it would have been nice if they expanded the ray trace reflections to be much more robust in the 30 FPS mode on the cars, because GT7 does do that, right? Its ray tracing features are significantly more advanced, but they're also a lot more demanding, so you can see why they wouldn't have used those in game, right? No way they could get that at 60, but 30, like,
right,
you know, expand that out and allow like more of the environment to be captured within the reflection, and just like really push it out like we see in this trailer.
All right. Listen, so I don't really want to make this about the game itself, because let's be honest, racing games are trash anyway.
I mean, you throw up.
I mean, yeah, it's trash anyway, right? Yeah. So the genre is trash anyway. But you can see from their faces, they are extremely disappointed with the technology, specifically with ray tracing, right? And this goes with the sentiment I've been saying. How can the Xbox community have this conversation that third-party multiplats are being held back because since PS5 is the market leader, the majority of the consoles out there, they're building the games for the PS5 and they're just using the same exact settings for this Xbox Series X, and thus not taking advantage of the extra features capabilities that the Xbox Series X presents. But I consistently make the cases, how can you argue that Xbox Series X has all these capabilities that is significant enough when their very own first party does shit like this? Like, if you're going to tell me that the Series X is being held back because the console has more significant capabilities than the PS5, then show it to me through your first party. So that way, when I see a first party game, I could be like, oh, now I get why you want third party to do. You want third party to do that. I get that. But third party can't do that because they're too focused on the PS5, and all you're going to get is PS5 level stuff. But we get this. This is Microsoft's own first party studio. And traditionally, because it's a racing game, Turn 10 ends up doing a better job of showing technology, graphics, performance, all that stuff in their racing games as compared to other studios. I think the only other studio that keeps up with them is the one that does Gears of War, right? Coalition, right? But Turn 10 is usually that studio that really shows, we do really good with Xbox hardware. But as you can see here, they got half-ass ray tracing. Really, the whole ray tracing in Forza is just an advertisement, a social media advertisement, just to say they have it. But when you actually implement it, and as you can see from Digital Foundry, it's trash. They should might as well not even done it. You understand what I'm saying? So again, if the own first party is half-assing your own products, what do you expect third party to do? And how is PS5 really holding you back when your own first party is doing this half-ass shit?
Again, their console does not do ray tracing very well for whatever reason, and like that guy from Digital Foundry said, it's taxing. So, and they don't have the proper setup. They just don't. And I mean, you can look at their other first party games. Starfield has no ray tracing. Hell, it doesn't even have HDR. So they've got a game with fake HDR, SDR, which is at the 8-bit encryption line, maybe lower, which is Starfield. And now you got this game, and according to JayDub and multiple other people, it's got fake ray tracing. I mean, so it's disappointing compared to what the fanboys were saying. Now, if you throw the fanboys into the prison cell with Chocolate Thunder, and you listen to what the developers were saying, what Microsoft was putting out is correct based on what the developers were saying. That's it. If people, I agree. People like Dealer Gaming and all them, they lied. They lied about the capabilities of this console. I have it. I understand its capabilities. So, I agree. You would think with the first party studios, they're going to rock and roll it, but they're having issues. And again, they didn't have this even with the Xbox One X. Forza Motorsports was their showcase game. That's the first game Digital Foundry was showing everybody. Oh, look, it's 4K native. It's 60 frames per second. So, it's disappointing if you listen to what the fanboy said, Porter Rock, and shout out to the audience that's here. But when you listen to the developers, and if you go back and you find the developer articles, if they were talking about the Xbox, they were saying this stuff kind of right in everybody's faces. It's kind of like, what's the saying, hidden in plain sight or whatever. It's disappointing that the game is like.
What were the developers saying?
They were saying that the don't get that the numbers of the Xbox versus the PlayStation per se wasn't that big a deal. Of course, the fanboys were saying it's a big deal.
Wait, were those Xbox developers saying that, or just
no? This was like IO and Crytek. Third party developers are saying this.
In fact, thank you for saying that. The developer of Alan Wake 2, he even spoke.
Remedy.
Remedy. So you guys keep talking. Let me find that video. I'll look for it.
So this is why, if you go back to when Epic Games did that demo in the spring on Jeff Keighley's show, and they showed a actual physical game or intellectual property or software running on a PS5, this is why people were so taken aback by that, where the girl takes off flying, and you actually got to see the PS5 running in real time. And that, after that day, and everybody knows this, after that afternoon that happened, everything changed. It was so bad that that Linus Tech, whatever his name is, he shit his pants, and over that the PS5 was the only thing that could run this, and then it became about, it's only 1440p, 30 frames per second, and Epic Games came out and clarified they could have ran it at 60, but they wanted to show you a much more cinematic look. So this has really been about what fanboys have been saying versus what the developers have been saying. And shout out to the late great Optimus Code. He told us all of this. He said the third-party developers, like Porter Rock was just telling us, the third-party developers told you all that this wasn't going to be a big deal, but the fanboys were saying something different. So that's just the way the energy went. So yeah, to answer your question, it was third-party developers like Crytek, IO. They do the Hitman game. There was Remedy, like Porter Rock's bringing up. There were multiple devs that came out and said, "No, the PS5 is going to be able to do certain things."
Okay,
and,
I want to give an alternative take here over here because I want to give some pushback on that. Listen, if I am a consumer looking at what Xbox is putting out there, and I'm looking at what their own developers are saying, because I don't really care about going back all the way to 2020 and what was said before that. Turn 10 themselves showed us trailers, okay, that they released that showed us ray tracing features, track features, driving features, and all of these things that are not present in the game or have been significantly reduced. So when you say that people should listen to the developers and not the fanboys, I agree with you. But when the developers themselves are lying in saying that this will show up in the game, and it doesn't even show up on PC, by the way. You can't even use that, it was shown on the PC excuse.
That's true.
Even on PC, this is not show up. So you see over here now, we have this situation with Xbox where the marketing is always so overblown that even listening to the developers themselves and tuning out all of the fanboys and the dealers and the cultists was tuning all of those people out still doesn't get you the product that you were supposed to get. Remember that they did this with Halo Infinite. They showed us the in-engine trailer, what it was going to show, antelopes in space and everything like that. None of it happened. And it's not just the fact that they were not these creatures, it's the fact that the entire environment looked completely different. That was listening to the developers and you were lied to. Then they showed us Starfield. And they literally came out and said, you know what? You can land anywhere you want. You literally cannot land anywhere you want. Yes, you can first land somewhere and then you can create a tile, but that's not what was implied. And when he said, oh, you can go there, but it turns out that is a clipped image. And he told us, oh, that moon, that's in real time. You can actually go there. No, it's a JPEG in the sky because then when you get into space, you have to reload whatever that moon was. That is listening to the developers. And that is being lied to. Then Turn 10 comes out. Then Turn 10 comes out. In the sky. Then Turn 10 comes out. And then they show you these amazing ray tracing features and they're like, this is on track in the race. They show you this damage that happens and they say, this is on track. They show you this track and it has like maple trees and lighting and other things. And then the final version comes out and none of it is there. That is listening to the developers. So this notion that people are just upset because I listen to fanboys, I'm sorry, I have to push back on that. Because even when we listen to the developers themselves, when we only care about what the developers show, we are still being lied to. So, there is nuance to that. Yes, listening to the Clint Eastwoods will make your expectation even worse. But remember that it was Xbox, not the Clint Eastwoods. It was Xbox that said the world's most powerful console. Xbox said that. It was Phil Spencer that said this would be the best place to play third-party multiplayer games. Like, we have been listening to the right people, and the right people have been lying to us. So it's just like, what do you want people to do? And so we have to call them liars because that's what they are. It can't just be always.
They're not telling the truth. Yeah, it's a lot of marketing speak. That's what everybody has figured out.
It's not marketing speak, man. It's not marketing speak when it's a lie.
Yeah, they're lying through marketing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No. Lying through marketing is what PlayStation does. PlayStation, like, we believe in generations, is lying through marketing. Why? Because there's always an out. You can just say, I said generations plural, and I didn't even tell you which one. Like, that was on you. You interpreted it that way. We just didn't say anything. We didn't correct it. That's lying through marketing. When I say this will be in the game, and it's not in the game, that's lying. Like, it's just lying. It's like
not unless they put it in later.
We listen to the developers. They're the ones that put out those Cyberpunk directs, direct from Night City. And then we saw all of these things we're going to be able to do. Then the product launches, and literally 80% of the features are missing. We are listening to the developers, and then they lie to us. So it's like we have to start calling it out as a community. Just be like, you're lying. Like, it's not marketing speak when the thing isn't in the game. Like, marketing speak is saying something like, oh, this thing would run at 4K native, and then you find out like, oh, it's a dynamic solution that.
Oh yeah, like this game runs at 4K.
Yeah,
but then
exactly.
It's dynamic 4K, checkerboard 4K, native 4K. Got it. Yeah,
they did the whole 4K thing with the whole.
That's what we accept. It's a bit of when the iPhone commercials are like, oh, hey, look, you can shoot a movie on this, and then the thing they're shooting the commercial on is a professional camera. So it's like, yeah, technically you can shoot it on it, but we want, like, God no, we want to make the shit look good. Like, but they're not, go ahead and shoot your little indie project.
You know, that would be impressive. They'd be like, hey, with this new iPhone, you could shoot a commercial on it. Why? Because that's what we just did.
Mm-hmm. But most of the time they're like, no.
They're on a $10,000 Sony camera.
Exactly.
That's what Digital Foundry. That's what Digital Foundry just did.
When you get a Mac and you get the desktop wallpapers, or when you get an iPhone and you get the stock wallpaper images, those are shot on professional cameras. You know, I'm not like, oh, look how good you could shoot.
Or like,
but also,
you ever seen like I seen like on YouTube commercial tips of the trade, right? Like when they show a commercial, what they actually do to make the products look good. I didn't know, and I hate to do this to everybody, but who here eats pancakes or French toast or waffles? Any of those combinations or crepes? Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. All right. So when you see a syrup commercial, they're not actually using the syrup. Guess what they're using? Motor oil.
Oh,
that nice, beautiful looking. Yeah. Golden, slow dripping. Woo, that looks luscious. That's motor oil.
They never show them eating it, but yeah,
that's why you don't see people eating the shit. They're pouring motor oil on the damn.
They're not telling the truth of how, not unless they add stuff later, which I have no idea what they have said. Digital Foundry called them out, so.
Digital Foundry. No, that's the second thing. Sorry, let me get on this horse back real quick. All right, listen. Digital Foundry are a bunch of cowardly cowards. Okay, listen. When the truth is just completely like, what is it? It is so evident that they cannot do anything but cut it out. That's when they will. But they'll always use words to just soften the blow. To be like, well, this isn't exactly what was promised, over there, the ray tracing only establishes to about a 2-meter diameter in life. And really, we expected a little bit. No, it was a lie. Just say it was a lie. Or when they said, what P-Work said before, when they're like, oh, actually, it's the PS5 settings being applied to the Series X, and this is why the Series X isn't showing much delta in performance. That is a complete fabrication. They have no insight into these studios to be like, hey, did you just port over the PS5 profile? Like, that would be a thing that developers do. No. But they just come up with all of these things in favor of Microsoft, and only when they are not able to, like, remember when Halo Infinite came out and they were like, oh yeah, it was the sun angle. Like, we were seeing grass pop in front of us and they were like, yeah, the angle of the sun. And also, this is the first time that they've ever tried, real-time global illumination. Like, it was this brand new technique. Like, no other game had ever had real-time lighting in an open-world game. And they were like, oh my God, the angle of the reflections of the sun on the water. And it's like, no, bro, it's garbage. Why don't you just say it's garbage? No, it's not the angle of the sun that makes it garbage. It's the fact that it's garbage that it makes it garbage. Were the sun at a different angle, it would just look like garbage in a slightly different light. But they were like, oh no, the shadows popping in is because of the angle of the sun. It's like, okay, cool. That's just fun.
But they got called out on that. King Thrash did a outside. Yeah, should they do it? No, they should not do it. But they've been called out to the point where they had to address it, I think, because Thrash was on their neck so bad. And they had to. They came out. But that's
because they're liars. They're liars.
Well, again, that's what I just said. Yeah, they should not.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop. Like reading between all, just call a spade a spade.
It's like when one guy, said, Alex, it's like when Alex Battaglia would not admit that the PS5 was RDNA 2. Finally, I can't think of the guy with the glasses. He was like, yeah, well, the only way this is going to work the way that it's working from what AMD has released is RDNA 2. And then finally the guy rolled his eyes and said, yeah, it's RDNA 2. So yeah, I'm not here to say that they have had to kind of flip their script, because even when the early games came out, and they said why. That's what cracks me up. They said Xbox has better specs, so the game should run better. But when they even came out and they were talking about when Devil May Cry, when it came out, they were like, this is a surprise. We don't understand. And what we have to see what the dev notes say. Yeah, there's no doubt that they've been doing some backpedaling. And should they just say, yeah, this isn't true? Yeah. Yeah, that would make it easier, but they're not going to do that because they're trying to be PC. That's just who they are. That's why I watch NX Gamer, because if it's not there,
NX Gamer is much better. Much better.
If it's not there, he'll say, "Hey, look, this stuff ain't."
I think the thing with Digital Foundry, like you can only be unbiased. So that's one thing I give respect to Colin Moriarty, right? He doesn't go after branding, paid advertisements. He even says himself he doesn't care about connections with the industry, whatever, right? Because he understands that's a really hard relationship to have when you're a content provider and somebody's providing you free stuff. It's really hard to maintain that relationship and still be brutally honest, right? So Digital Foundry, which is supposed to be brutally unbiased, Microsoft went after them, gave them flight tickets to Redmond, Washington.
Yeah, Redmond. Sure, they put them up at a nice hotel. Yeah, they're
giving them the works, giving them first access to exclusive access to the Xbox Series X, the breakdown.
Remember the jigsaw puzzle they got you do with the magnetic? Like, oh my god, it uses magnets.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Everything. Yeah, everything, right? They gave them the full breakdown. It was live on Digital Foundry. Not live, but it was on Digital Foundry, so that way they get all the hits, all the views, everything's focused on them. And then when it came to Sony, so I was like, nah, we doing our own shit on our own channel with our own, the actual guy who helped build it, whatever, and left Digital Foundry, out in the woodworks, right? Nothing for them, which I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just saying that's just how it ended up, right? So obviously, Digital Foundry wants that relationship with Microsoft. They get access to new content, they get access to new technology, right? And they want to maintain that relationship going forward. So I can't blame them on that. While Sony's not doing anything, which is perfectly fine. But the Xbox is not doing what exactly do, and Digital Foundry's like, shit. Like, you can't lie because the technology is a technology. But at the same time, how far can you go into telling people this is not, the console's not doing good. It's not doing what was supposed to be planned. Right? So they have to tiptoe this line because if they just outright say, hey, if they go with Extreme's mindset, like, listen, Xbox Series X is garbage. All that stuff that we learned did not happen. Everything that we got told is wrong, blah, blah, blah. We're just not, the Xbox Series X is just not doing what was advertised. It's just not there. Well, they can't really do that because they're hoping to maintain that relationship.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
be PC about it.
Yeah, but at the same time, they can't tell the people everything's fine because it's not.
I don't disagree.
So they have to,
walk a line. They have to walk a line. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's why like I said, if you just reference everything back to what was said before the consoles came out, you get a much cleaner picture than worrying about what Digital Foundry doing or is not doing, saying or is not saying. Again, that's why I watch NX Gamer. I think he's through IGN. I think that's who he's through. I could be wrong, but overall, I laugh when they say, "Well, this is performing better on PlayStation." And I think Porter, you did a video on you're surprised if the games play and look better on Xbox at this point in time.
Wow, I'm not that person. Yeah. Let me play this video. This is the developer, part of Remedy, Alan Wake 2. So conversation came up because Xbox Series S does not have performance mode. Shocking. And people they just asked them once again, like, what's up with the Series S? What's going on? So if everybody could just let the video play, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Or do you want us to make a game that takes full advantage of the most powerful platforms? Like, imagine you have a studio where everybody wants to do their best. It's very easy to see like what we would choose.
Yeah. So on that note, speaking of infinite money, something that most people don't have, I imagine, the Series S, it has its pluses and minuses. One huge plus being that it's a great point of entry for people to this generation. To Remedy as a studio, would you say that it is a net positive as a device out there?
Choosing my words carefully here. We like Xbox, we like Sony. It's on Series S, like the CPU is pretty much the same as on Series X. There's not a massive difference, but the GPU is an issue. It really is. And then having less memory is a pretty big problem. And we often get, hey, you make PC games, surely you know how to scale. Well, memory is not a problem on PC, it really isn't. And that's one of the struggles when you talk about resolution and frame rate. It's just not enough to like drop the resolution heavily. I mean, that's what we're doing on the S, and really, really working hard to make sure that the visual quality still holds up. And it's just strange that we can't kind of, people accept that on a weaker PC, you're just going to have less, the visuals are not going to be as good and your frame rate's not going to be as good, and it's accepted. There's a massive difference on like Series S and Series X GPU. And sure, people can mention that this game did this so well and all that. And every game is different, every developer is different, but you can't have sort of the best of both worlds, and you got to choose where you're going to focus. And I think if, the Series S is like, I don't know, $250 or whatnot, and X and PS5 are like $500-600, then obviously there's a massive difference in the power you are getting.
Right.
So it's just a lot easier to scale on the PC because of memory, and it's not like there's one super PC and one weaker PC. There's like 300 PC configurations in between, and trust me, that's a massive struggle, but we shipped a lot on PC, so we're a bit better about that. But we've really worked hard on getting S to run at a solid 30 and trying to maintain like a good visual quality. But like if you want to see the game at its best in full next-gen glory, then it's going to be on the machines that have the hardware grunt to enable that.
Yep. So clearly nothing we haven't heard before. You know what I'm saying? We told people like this 2-SKU configuration is stupid. 2 distinct hardwares was dumb. Like if it was only a lower GPU and that's it, okay. But the fact that they compounded the problem with lower memory and slower memory, shit. Like the storage, all right, is whatever. You can always buy a memory card and increase your storage. But the actual, RAM, that was just a bad decision, right? So that just compounded stuff, and everybody said this. Like everybody knew, it's so obvious this was going to be a problem. But everybody thought the console environment was no different than PC, and everything scales. And clearly, developers don't treat consoles like the PC environment. They want consoles to have just one type of, architecture and blah blah blah, and that's how it goes. Now, of course, conversation's gonna be brought up. Well, what about the Pro? Well, I think the difference between the Pro or, a mid-gen refresh is the base model will be the standard. So the PS5 is the standard. Mm-hmm. That's it. So there's no interference with the Pro. The PS5 is the way the game's meant. The Pro is just simply going to make it better looking. That's it. It's literally just a GPU upgrade when you want to look at it. It's not, do not buy the Pro thinking they're going to make optimized games from the ground up on the Pro and PS5 is holding it back. No, every game is going to be designed for the PS5. That's the default. The Pro is more or less just brute force power to run better, and get better frames, better options, better fidelity, better settings, things like that. That's all the Pro is. Pro is just a GPU upgrade. That's all it is. More memory. It's like having your PC and you just throw in a GPU, throw in a little bit more RAM, maybe a new CPU, boom. Same game that was built on weaker hardware, but now you're just getting more out of it. You can now raise the settings up. You can play at better frame rates. That's about it, right? So I think that's different as compared to what Microsoft did, which was launch 2 consoles at the same time, and you're wondering, all right, is the Series S the focus, and the Series X just runs a better game than the Series S? But apparently no. They said no, Series X is the focus. Well, then what do we do with the Series S? We'll figure it out. And that's really what ended up happening. All right.
Yeah. I mean, again, if they're not going to, if they're going to make a Pro console and they're not going to make the CPU higher and have a better GPU.
And the release version, if you look at
not going to be that much of a difference. But yeah, I'm glad the late great Optimus Code. He even talked about scaling. You have all these people saying you can scale. You just heard from a developer, not that easy. You know, so
he said,
so that's good. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I think that's what everybody was expecting, and it was the fanboys who said scale, not the developers. So it is what it is.
All right. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is Naughty Dog. But before that, shout out to Liquid. He said, I'm going to get the Pro day one just like I get the regular PS5. You know what? So it's clear. We're going to talk more about that. But it's clear the Pro most likely is real. But we'll talk more about that. We'll definitely. Let's because that's going to be the next topic. So the topic right now is Naughty Dog. So... right here, Zubitech. This is what I like about Zubitech, because he's not a rumor type content creator. He doesn't do that, right? He has his opinions on products, but if ever he shows something about something, he usually backs it up. And one of his primary tools he used to back up what he claims is the LinkedIn profiles. Because believe it or not, like literally developers in the industry, they usually tell what they're working on. You know, they may not say what the exact name or title is. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But they usually say, hey, currently working on a multiplayer game for this company. Right? So you kind of know what the company's doing without an official reveal because the workers are actually spilling the beans. So he does a real good job finding that. And he showed that Naughty Dog, a lead outsourced artist, is currently at Naughty Dog. And this lead also artist stated that he or she is responsible for overseeing the production of all outsourced environments, art assets, weapons, and interactive props for two iconic titles, The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us 2 Remastered. So the remaster's happening, right? So let's start with the base. Let's start with the general fundamental idea. It's clear that a remaster's coming, right? I think Sony's catching that same magic, which worked with The Last of Us 1 remake. It absolutely worked. The show came out, and the game was just selling good. In fact, there was an article, I think Jim Ryan or one of the Sony execs said that with every episode shown, the sales just simply got better and better. Let me see if I could find it, because I put that on Twitter. Here we go. Here it is. Let me put that on the screen for you guys so you can see it. Right here. Last of Us game sales increased dramatically with every TV show episode. Every new episode of The Last of Us HBO TV series helped dramatically spike franchise game sales. Each week an episode dropped, we sold a lot more games. In a recent company strategy meeting, Sony Interactive Entertainment's Jim Ryan confirmed that The Last of Us TV show led to a significant spike in franchise game sales. The principal reason of IP exploitation is really to increase the reach and growth of this IP and expose it to more people. We had a great case study with the Last of Us series, Ryan said in a response to a question about transmedia production based on key IPs. Every time an episode of the show dropped, sales of the game increased very dramatically. It was really a remarkable spike. Each week an episode dropped, we sold a lot more games. So I see this whole thing as symbiotic. Right, so there is a relationship with one thing helping the other. Okay, so clearly, if they looked at this casework and realized, man, this really helped, so guess what? They're gonna try it again with The Last of Us 2, and just like for Extreme, you gotta get the remastered, right? Don't sell the PS4.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. So I knew he was happy.
Listen, this is incredibly fantastic. Okay. First of all, I knew this was coming because Naughty Dog told us it was coming. When they released the patch for The Last of Us Part 2 on PS5, which they did far too late, by the way. I was far more upset about that than people are about them releasing a new game. But anyways, they released it like over a year later. They released this patch and they were like, this is just the first of what is coming. And I always knew they were going to make it a remaster. Now, the only disappointment here is that it's not a remake made from the ground up again, okay? Because that's what I really wanted.
Yeah, it will take longer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fine. They can remake it for the PS6 and I'll be there day one.
They probably would.
I want them to remake it for the PS6. Can you imagine when people will be like, "Oh my god, you made a remaster 2023, now it's 2030, and you're making a remake?" Yes, yes, they should. And they should charge you full price. You know my story.
$80.
You know what I think about this. Okay,
yes.
listen.
Okay.
I wanted to buy The Godfather, all of the collection on Blu-ray, 4K. That shit was at $200 to buy. Was it 3 or 4 movies? That shit's expensive. They don't be like, oh, you can trade in your previous DVD and we'll give it to you for $10 extra. Fuck that. I want the Last of Us Part 2 remake for the PlayStation 6.
That's why
I am satisfied. I am satisfied with the Last of Us Part 2 remaster for the PS5, as they should. As they absolutely fucking should.
That's why I didn't buy like the Nolan trilogy of The Dark Knight, because I love that, right? Yeah. So of course, buying it in 4K and playing it on a 4K player is the best you can get, right? But the problem is they're gonna release it in 8K, and I'm not buying that shit again. Like it never ends.
Hey,
so
you know what?
I give up.
You'll be one of those guys who had the Star Wars movie on the VHS, then they got it on like what was it, HD DVD, then they get it on DVD, then they get it on like SACD. You get it on all formats. You just move with the times. I
can't do it, man. I just leave it alone. I just say, you know what? I let streaming catch up because I can't do this, man. And I want to so bad, but I know they're gonna do like the 8K version. I'm like,
hey, you know what? You know what, P-Rock? I'll encourage you in this way, okay? Yeah. I watched what was it? Ready Player One. In the audiophile circles, in the home theater circles, Ready Player One is like their movie to test your audio system, okay? And they always say get it on Blu-ray, but it wasn't available on Netflix. So I put that shit on Netflix first, and I was like, okay, this is nice, but I don't see why they say that you should test your sound system with this. I'm like, it sounds nice. Then I got the Blu-ray version the next day, 4K Blu-ray, and I put that shit in
with the audio, bells and whistles. Yeah.
But the sound, oh my god, the sound was so much better. Yeah. So listen.
I heard audio files is worse than video files. Like I heard it's like a disease almost. Like once you hear something, that's it. Yeah. You can't go back. Like I heard it's bad. Listen, they said don't.
When people say gaming is an expensive hobby, I laugh at them because I'm like, bro, if you knew the lengths people go to for other hobbies, including being an audiophile, you would be crazy. Yeah, it would drive you crazy.
Because I have friends, because I try to look into. I have friends that are like audiophiles, and I'm like, hey, what's a good headset? Because I know you guys ain't going for the Bose, you ain't going for all that.
No,
that's all bullshit.
Not. People hate
Bose. Like there's like $80 headsets that are like superior to that, right? Yeah. But then they'd be like, so my friends are like telling me, hey, these are the headsets that you can start with, but don't get it. Yeah. And I'm like, why? They're like, it's a disease, bro. Like, please, just don't get it. Like, you don't need to get it. Just enjoy your Bose. Enjoy your Sony. Just stay away. Because once you head down this road, it's over. Like, you will never go back. You can't. I'm like, fuck. So I got scared. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just stick with the base. I'm just stick with the basic shit. Fuck it. I don't need that stress. Because they look stressed too. Like it's I'm like, holy shit.
I went to a showroom. I went to a showroom for Bang & Olufsen. And if you know B&O, you know that they are a big deal in audio. And I listened to these $200,000 speakers. I listened to Persona 5 soundtrack, and I literally cried. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
$100,000 speakers.
200,000. To be fair, it's like 150,000 US, so it's cheaper for you guys. But point is,
what 85,000 US?
No, it's like 120,000 US.
120,000.
Yeah. So when you say that gaming is expensive, I just want you to know y'all are like,
shut the fuck up.
Y'all got Game Pass. Can I get the speakers on Game Pass? I will get Game Pass for that.
Yeah, like you get a new speakers every year. Like shut up. Oh man, yeah. Okay, so hey Craig, so what do you think from terms of, man, it's gonna be hard to answer the question because I already know where the question is gonna lead to. Just on the Last of Us Part 2 remake, just on the merit of the remake. What do you think about it?
I said that when I was on here months ago, that was coming because the TV show had been extremely successful, and that most of these PS4 games are getting PS5 versions. I mean, people have been screaming they wanted PS5 versions of the games. Well, that's what you're getting. I think Kojima's game, Death Stranding, has a PS5 version. Which isn't a first-party game, I know, but Sony backed it. The Ghost of Tsushima, that's getting a TV show, and it got a PS5 version. Horizon Forbidden West just got a PS5 version. People got to remember that's a cross-gen game. Now the PS5 version has everything. It has the sound, and it has a bunch of stuff. The art, I think the art book maybe comes with it. So it's got just a lot more stuff. So it makes sense to me. And for people who know, The Last of Us Part 2 did get a PS5 patch, and it's 60 frames per second, but it's still 1440p, and it's in I think it's in mid settings, mid PC settings, I should say, and maybe it's in high settings, but I thought it was in mid settings just by looking at the reflection. Now, if and when Sony confirms this and they put the assets in, it's going to be arguably one of the best looking games on the PS5 because The Last of Us Part 1. The remaster remake.
I played it on the PS5 because I waited because I knew when The Last of Us Part 2 dropped that it was going to come out with the PS5 anyway. So I was like, there's no point in me buying it on PS4. So I played it on PS5. Really? But you know what it was missing? It was missing haptic feedback and adaptive triggers because I had just gotten used to the PS5 environment and I was used to these games. You know, Ghost of Tsushima had it with the director's cut.
They actually had it.
You know, but The Last of Us Part 2 came with the patch, but it didn't really use the controller. And I felt so disappointed by that. Like, I played it because I was like, I'm not going to wait an indefinite amount of time to play one of my favorite games. But I desperately want this thing to go back and re-experience it with the DualSense controller's features being implemented. That would be the thing that sells me on it. If they don't use the DualSense much, I won't even buy this ever. But if they do, I'll eventually get it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and the sound. I mean, one of the big things, if you go back and play The Last of Us Part 1, the PS5 version, is the first thing you're going to notice is the sound. Another thing that I just particularly noticed with The Last of Us Part 1 is when Ellie and Joel first met each other and got together, the look of sadness on Ellie's face, you don't see that on the PS4 version. It's just something else that's there. I called it. But I think that most people got to understand that with that show coming out, and like Porter Rock was saying, each time, every episode of the show, they were looking at, which came on Sunday night, that meant late Sunday night, early maybe Monday or Tuesday, they were seeing more sales. So you guys can't be this stupid. You had to realize they were going to remaster this and do a physical release for the PS5. And just on that, now, let's be clear again. Sony hasn't confirmed anything. So right now, this is just us speculating. But if this is coming out, let's just say it is, like Porter Rock saying, the fact that it's coming should not shock anybody that this is coming. No different than when Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto 5 came out when I had a 360. They're still making money hand over fist with that game. So there's no reason for them to really go out and do a ton of other stuff when you're making that type of money they're making, which is ridiculous. That's one of the most successful games ever, monetarily. You can argue about the game itself, but you can't argue the success. So doesn't surprise me. I'm looking forward to it. I will be getting it day one. If there's a PS6 and I get one and it's 8K, I will get it again. If they make a PS6 version. So it's one of the better games that I played. That's just my opinion. But what do you think about it, Porter Rock? Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. So I guess this will segue into the semi-next topic, which is the reaction to this news. So I wasn't surprised The Last of Us 2 is being remastered because, again, from a financial perspective, from the money, it makes sense. My complaint, right, and this is why I was battling Twitter, out there beating down. I grabbed my belt and I had to whoop some PlayStation dudes back into place, right? My issue is this is kind of the feather that tipped the scale to how Naughty Dog is pretty much being, I ain't gonna say mismanaged, it's being managed in this new gen of PlayStation 5. And what I mean by that is this. It's clear PlayStation, Sony wants to attract a bigger audience, right? But with that responsibility, you have to, if you want to attract more people, then you better be prepared to service and cater to more people, right? Like if you have a restaurant that sits 10 people, but you want your restaurant to sit 50 people, well, you're going to have to pay contractors to expand your restaurant and provide the seating for 50 people, right? You're not gonna have 50 people sit in a restaurant with only 10 chairs, right? Stuff like that, right? So with this remaster coming out, I'm like, damn. But what about the new game? Because new Naughty Dog game is part of the culture for this audience you're trying to cater to. So you want to cater to more people to enjoy The Last of Us? All right, you're doing your thing with the TV show. You want to cater to people that loves live service games, because you see a lot of live service gamers playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and you want them to come to first party games. All right, so you're catering to them. But it seems like they put the gamers that want new games on the back burner and say, hey, you guys can wait, right? Because for now, we're going to try to pull in the live service gamers, and we're going to try to put in new gamers to like The Last of Us. You guys that already been there, you know, be good little lads and wait. And that's what I'm not personally liking. Now, I bring this up and I hear a lot of weird damage control that just simply is not true and made up, right? Or they're using half-truths simply to defend currently what's going on. For example, a truthful statement. Games do take 5 to 6 years to make, especially these big blockbuster titles. I absolutely agree. For example, The Last of Us 2 was a 6-year project. So that is the truth. But you cannot use that statement and say that because of that, don't expect a new game until 2025, 2026. No, that's not how it works. Naughty Dog system, they work with staggered development. They have multiple teams. And while one team's doing one thing, they have a team starting another. And then they, release games in a timely manner. I'll use The Last of Us 2 as an example. Again, The Last of Us 2 took... In fact, no, I'll use The Last of Us 1. The Last of Us 2. Yeah, The Last of Us 2 took 6 years to develop. It was a long game. It took a while to make. But that development began in 2014, while they were already more than halfway into Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 released in 2016 with multiplayer. Then a year later, they released Lost Legacy. So at a certain point, they were also working on Lost Legacy along with Uncharted. Now, granted, using the same assets, same characters, so it's probably a little bit easier, for that. But the point is, they were working on Uncharted 4, released Lost Legacy, while they were still making The Last of Us 2. So Uncharted 4 released in 2016, Lost Legacy released in 2017, and then 3 years later, they released The Last of Us 2. Appropriate business, good tactics, staggered development, you can get games out in a timely manner. But the reason why this is not happening with this gen, now I'm sure they are making the new games, right? They're probably making a sequel to The Last of Us 3. I guarantee that's happening, right? In fact, I wouldn't be surprised they'll have The Last of Us 3 ready in 2025, because I would imagine season 3 of the show will come out in 2025, right? Because supposedly season 2 is coming out this year in 2024. I would imagine season 3 is coming out in 2025. What better time than to release The Last of Us 3 along with the show? So I could see that same formula, right? But that's just a guess. I don't want you to guys think that I'm pushing some actual information. That's just a guess, right? But this gen, we're not getting a new game, right? Because, one, they're prioritizing, the live service game. That was the priority. They mentioned this in 2019. That's what they're doing. So they're working on that. And they want to get these remasters, remakes out the door because it makes money. As far as the game, sure, they're developing it, but there's no rush to get it out. They don't have to rush. They don't have any sense of urgency. There's no need to, because they're sending out remasters, they're sending out remakes, and they thought, or they probably still think, that when they do introduce something new, it's going to be this live service game. Now, here's the problem with the thought of pushing the live service game at the forefront of an actual single player game for Naughty Dog. The fan base doesn't really care about multiplayer. They don't. We can all be honest by that, right? Sure, Naughty Dog had multiplayer games with Uncharted 4, Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2, even The Last of Us 1. But the moment Naughty Dog said, hey, The Last of Us 2 will not have multiplayer, that's when you saw who truly the Naughty Dog fan base is. And I'm not talking about anything negative. It's a fan base that don't really care about the multiplayer anyway. Sure, there's people who enjoyed it, but it's not that big of a fan base. The Last of Us 2, despite not having multiplayer, hugely successful. It did nothing. All that drama on Twitter, even I will say I thought it was a dumb move, right? So it's not like I wasn't part of that, but I knew it was not going to hurt the game. And I was right. It's not going to hurt The Last of Us 2. At the end of the day, when it comes to Naughty Dog, that amazing single player experience is top notch. Their multiplayer, and I played, on Factions. I played Uncharted. They're good, right? But it's not like Halo or Gears where the multiplayer is like the steak dinner and the single player is like, the side dish. No, when it comes to Naughty Dog, the steak is the single player. The multiplayer is your baked potato. It's your green beans. It's your macaroni and cheese. It's good. It's eating. It's delicious. But we love that single player, and that's what they're really known for. Their Game of the Year awards is because of the single player experiences, right? Okay. So The Last of Us 2, hugely successful. No one really cared, ultimately, when it comes to that. And when I mean by no one cares, I'm talking when it comes to the money. People whipped out their bank account, their cards, debits, credit cards, cash, bought the game. Then Sony decided, hey, we're going to remake The Last of Us 1 because the show's coming. But this time, we're not remastering or remaking the multiplayer. So literally a game, The Last of Us 1, which is single player and multiplayer, because that is technically the game. Sony said, yeah, we're going to take the multiplayer out, and we're just going to give you the single player, but still charge you a full $70, right? Of course, you've seen feedback, you've seen blowback. I was against it again, but I understood why they did it, because they don't want to add more shelf life to the Last of Us 1 multiplayer. They want that to end so that way the new factions could be the de facto multiplayer in the Naughty Dog universe. If they would have released a remake of the multiplayer, now you're talking something you have to support for another 3, 4, 5 years. Because you can't sell it and then shut it down the next year. You can't do that. So that's why they did that. But charging full $70, you saw the blowback, you saw the Twitter, you saw whatever. But in the end, what did it do? Nothing. The Last of Us 1 remake was hugely successful, and as you saw from what I just showed, it kept selling and selling and selling with every episode of the show, which once again shows there's not really a big Naughty Dog multiplayer fan base that impacts Naughty Dog. The studio's not really, the fan base is not going to break, the multiplayer fan base is not going to make or break Naughty Dog. That's just not really, Naughty Dog's not built on the multiplayer. If they provide multiplayer, again, it's mac and cheese, it's baked potato. Hey, Em, how you like your baked potato? You like baked potato? What's your favorite side dish?
Why would I like baked potato?
I don't know. Who doesn't like baked potato? But what's your favorite side dish?
I don't know.
With your steak?
Couscous or something? Oh, with steak. Mashed
couscous? What? A what? Wait, what did you say?
I didn't know you were talking about steak. You got to bring me back.
No, food, restaurant. You got your whatever's your main meal. You're in a nice, you like steak?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you're in a nice fancy steak restaurant. What's your preferred side dish to the main steak? What do you like to order? Mashed potato. There you go. So you got nice mashed potato. You like butter, bacon, loaded, cheese. You like any of that stuff?
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm saying no. I'm talking about the mashed potatoes, not the steak. The mashed potatoes.
And just mashed potatoes, man. Some like asparagus on the side. Jesus, I'm trying to keep healthy. I'm already having steak.
You're not in America, bro. Because we're gonna add bacon chips on that sucker. We're gonna throw in.
You in America?
Yeah, we're gonna add cheese. Believe me, once you go back, you'll never go back. It's like being an audiophile. Once you eat an American mashed potato, woo! Ooh.
Nah.
Anyway,
nah.
I'm telling
this
you.
is one of your New York pizzas. That is not a pizza.
I'm telling you.
That looks like. That sounds like.
I'm telling you, man. No, listen. Australians don't get to talk about pizza. Anyway, that mashed potato that you like.
Better pizza than you. What are you talking about?
Stop.
What are you talking about?
Stop. That is the first time I ever heard anyone say Australia has just better food than anything. Stop. We're not even doing that. That's a whole.
Wait, you think American cuisine is good?
Not that. We're not even talking about.
You're Puerto Rican. I can forgive you. But I'm talking about traditional American, white European American food.
We're not talking. You're not even European. You're in Australia. You're in the Pacific.
Exactly. But I've been to America. Your food is garbage.
Listen.
And I'm talking about Puerto Rican food again. I want you to listen. Wherever there's black people, there's good food. But I've been to white restaurants in America, and you guys do not have the right to call your food cuisine.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
You guys have.
Hey, that's a different podcast. That's a whole.
You might as well eat it from a trough. You might as well eat it wholesome.
Listen, I've been on this earth for a long time.
I don't know why you use plates.
This is the first time I ever heard. Like, yes, when you think about, I can't wait to go to Australia. You eat kangaroos. I don't know why you don't just use your hands. You eat kangaroos. Okay? Stop it. Okay. I just wanted you to remember. Ain't nobody going to Australia for the food. Just stop.
What the hell? Relax.
Go eat McDonald's. Now, hey, so the multiplayer is like, the mashed potatoes is cool, right? But the steak is the single player, right? So that's why there was no really, sure, on the internet, there's always whatever, but the real world results of these games is the single player. That's what it is, right? So Sony's like, yo, we're going to put multiplayer at the forefront, live service game. That's the priority because we got to get this out, right? Because that's what they talk about 2019. Then obviously the remasters and remakes, that is a huge important strategy because they want more people and they're making a lot of money off that. But where does that leave the audience that simply wants a new game? I just want a new game.
Listen. You've been on your soapbox. I've left you there. Okay.
But here's my question. All I'm asking is, where is room for the audience with the new game? Because what it looks like, I won't get a new game. Let me answer your question. Hold on. It looks like I will not get a new game from Naughty Dog until 2025, which is 5 years deep into the game. So go ahead.
Let me answer your question. Right. This is a high-class restaurant. And as you said, they are catering to more people. Okay, listen. Have you ever been to like a high-end sushi restaurant? Sometimes they have the sushi that is...
Sushi's disgusting. Okay? Sushi's disgusting.
You talk about cuisine, please.
Sushi is disgusting.
Anyways, whatever.
You're eating raw fish. Anyways,
when you have good food, have good food like sushi, they will have it on the train. Okay, you can pick it up from the train. You can eat directly from it. Okay, there it is. But if you want to, there are tables where you can be sat and your meal can be prepared for you to your specifications. Okay, this is what you are experiencing now. Okay, you are the guy that already had the meal and you walk past the train line where everything is already manufactured. They show you the Last of Us Part 1 Remastered. You're like, already had that. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, already had that. All's good. But you want the brand new experience. Understand that it's going to take time for the chefs to cook. So your place is to fucking wait. Okay, and also, no, I don't believe that The Last of Us Remastered is going to slow down your meal. It's just that they have different teams, and one team is able to pull out this thing faster because they are the interns and they are the ones that don't have to like come up with something brand new. But another team is cooking something brand new, a brand new experience, brand new flavors you've never seen before. Okay, Naughty Dog, every time they release a game, they set the bar for the entire industry, and more importantly for us, they set the bar for PlayStation Studios themselves. They are the head, they are the flagship, they are the queen of PlayStation's chessboard, and I don't want anybody else over here getting confused thinking that Insomniac, because they're able to pump out some IP they didn't even make, okay, that somehow they step up to Naughty Dog. Relax, all right? I love Insomniac, I do, but you're gonna respect the king, okay? All right? And the king, in this case, is you. And your queen is Naughty Dog. And Naughty Dog is going to perform for you. Just like in a chessboard, you send the knights out first, okay? That's Insomniac. Before you send out your queen. Because when you send out your queen, you're just there to end the game. So your place is to wait. You are not being made to wait longer because of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. You're just being made to wait the same amount of time you were going to wait anyway. The only difference between the reality where they make remasters and the reality where they don't make remasters is that in this reality, you get remasters. But they were always going to take the same amount of time. If they were going to take 4 or 5 years, it was always going to take 4 or 5 years. And yes, sometimes it feels a little bit upsetting that you see all of these people just walk in the door, sit down at that little sushi train, and they get to eat the sushi. But you didn't want to eat the sushi. You wanted to eat the steak. And the steak is going to take a while longer.
Are you done? You done?
I'm done.
So how come I never waited before?
You did wait before.
No, I did not.
You just didn't realize you were waiting.
No. I will prove it to you right now. And in fact, sure. I will show you in this image. Because I've mentioned this. This is facts right here. I'm not making this up. I'm gonna show you Naughty Dog before and Naughty Dog now. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Here we go. I'm gonna show you. Now listen to the full thing. This is PS4. Right?
Oh, go ahead.
The Last of Us 1 came out in 2013 for the PlayStation 3. All right?
Yep.
All right? That was the same year the PlayStation 4 launched. All right? Now, this is what we got for new games. By 2016, 3 years, into the generation, I got Uncharted 4, a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Game of the year with multiplayer.
Sure.
A year later, I got Lost Legacy. That's the 4th year.
Keep going.
All right.
Keep going.
Okay. Now, for the PS5, if we're gonna align the dates, 2020 was this year they did The Last of Us 2 and launched the PS5. 2021, nothing. 2022, nothing. 2023, nothing. And I go in the way as 2024, nothing. So this scenario, listen, wait. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I will bet $100 that The Last of Us, they're not going to put a new IP and release The Last of Us 2 remaster the same year. They're not doing that. Because The Last of Us 2, and I will put my money behind that. You want to bet $100? I will put my money, okay? That you will not get a new IP release in 20, whether it not new, I'm not going to do that. You're not going to get a new game, meaning whether it's the sequel to Last of Us 3 or a new IP, just a new game. You're not even gonna get factions. Yeah, that's not even gonna be ready.
Sure.
You know? No, because that's the problem. That was my issue. Factions is the issue. That's literally my point. Because they're focusing on factions, right? Because that's literally my point. Before.
I was defending the remaster.
I want a new single player game because that's me. I'm part of that audience. You got the audience. You got the audience that are trying to gain with the multiplayer. You can listen. Wait. Stop. I'm trying to I'm gonna dismantle your whole. This is how it's been because that's a lie. I just proved.
You're setting yourself up.
No. Listen. I just proved that this never happened.
Okay.
A new single player Naughty Dog IP. At no point did I had to wait 5 years from the last game. That never happened. That's not new. So where did I need to ask you?
Have you waited 5 years yet? Have you waited 5 years? No. The last one was in 2020, right?
Yes.
So you haven't waited 5 years.
But I will.
I will.
Okay, but anyways. Listen. No. Listen. The reason why I know this is gonna happen because The Last of Us 2 will be the priority. You're saying it's not, but it is. It is the priority because money. It's money driven. It's not economics of manpower, whatever. It's money driven. They want The Last of Us 2 to shine. They want to repeat. So that's number one. And then the next is this goddamn live service game. As far as a new single player Naughty Dog game, that shit's not till 2025. And I am so adamant that I will willing to bet on it. I will bet on it. That's how I know it's gonna happen.
I'm taking you up on that bet. But can I answer you first? I would like you to point out in your little schedule that you have there, okay? Yeah. Between 2013 and 2017, can you point out when COVID happened then? Just point that out for me.
Oh, here you go. No, that's not an excuse.
2013. Just point out which year. Just point out which year COVID happened. I just want to know.
That's not excuse. Not excuse. Because if that was the case, because if that was the case, Insomniac wouldn't be doing what they're doing either then.
Insomniac is not performing at the same level as Naughty Dog.
Yes, they are. I'm sorry.
They're not. I'm sorry.
Okay. Spider-Man is nowhere close to The Last of Us. You can say what you want, but guess what? Naughty Dog is not a no-show. I'm sorry. In order to compete, you need to participate. You're not in the playoffs. Where's Naughty Dog?
No.
Where's Naughty Dog?
You ever heard Jay-Z?
Okay, get out of here. I don't care about Jay-Z.
He's hot. When he's on the mic, he's still hot. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
It is the same.
Insomniac provides new games for the PS5. And I don't buy PS5 for old games.
Games for an IP they didn't create.
And don't matter, but they still made it. They still made it. They still made it. On top of that, they still released Ratchet and Clank. And you know what's funny? They also did a remaster. For Spider-Man. They did a remaster for Spider-Man. They released Miles Morales, right? They did Ratchet and Clank, which was one of the first few games to actually show. They also listen. All I'm not convincing is the Naughty Dog fanboys, which I don't really care. I don't really care to convince a Naughty Dog fanboy. You guys see it the way you see it. It doesn't matter. But the facts are the facts. The facts. You cannot dispute. That's not a fact. Did I lie that
COVID happened?
Okay. Yes.
Did I lie?
Is it not a fact that didn't impact
2013 to 2017? Though?
Yes. No, it didn't. Now, did it impact Insomniac? Did it impact Insomniac?
It impacted
No, it didn't impact Insomniac. Listen, Insomniac. Listen, I'm playing a new game from Insomniac in 2020. I played another new game from Insomniac in 2021. They're about to release another new game in 2023. Okay, 2020, Miles Morales. That's a new game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's called facts.
Yeah, that's
2021. 2021. Richard Rift Apart. Remember that? That's a fact, right?
Yep.
And they showed what the SSD can do. That's a fact. Right? Okay. 2023. We're about to play Spider-Man 2, right? That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Okay. Watch Wolverine. Watch Wolverine come out the same year as Naughty Dog's new game, which will be embarrassing.
Because the point is, Naughty Dog's new game is going to be S tier, and if some of his games are A tier, and I'm sorry,
listen,
but if you want the better tasting meal, you're gonna have to wait longer. That's the way the world works.
Blah blah blah. Personal opinion. I don't really care about that. That's like you saying Australian food is good. Ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit. Ain't blah 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 blah. I am telling you,
sushi was bad. I'm telling you, no one can trust you for the rest of this conversation.
It doesn't matter. Sushi is terrible. At the end of the day. Right? The absolute see, that's the beauty of it. I can say sushi's terrible, but you can still eat it because you like it. That's called opinion based. But there is something that's not opinion based.
Yeah,
the thing that's not opinion based. No, the thing that's not opinion based is we have not played a new Naughty Dog game yet. That is fact.
Yeah,
that is fact. No one can argue that.
Do you know what's not fact? That you're gonna have to wait 5 years to play the next new.
But I'm willing to bet it will be fact. I'm willing to bet on that.
No, it will be.
I'm willing to bet.
Sure.
I will
take you up on that.
$100. Wait, was it US? Australia? Let's. In fact, let's pick a game. Let's do that because I think that's a safer bet. A new AAA game.
Sure.
Whatever it costs. New AAA. You buy me a new AAA? It was probably more expensive.
I will buy you the next Naughty Dog game if it comes out in 2025.
Deal. The next new. I'm pretty sure you don't want the multiplayer, right? The next new.
I love the multiplayer.
Okay, you tell me which. That's the bet. The next new Naughty Dog game, whichever one you want. I don't want the multiplayer. Yep. I want the game after. All right, I want the single player.
I'll give you what you want.
Okay, yes, I'll do the same for you. That's the bet. That means new single player game. That's the bet.
Yep.
That's the bet. Okay, and I'm willing to put on it. I'm willing to put on it. Okay. Yes, it will be easy because you're gonna be buying that new game, and guess what? You have until 2025 to get it from me, because that's when it's gonna come out.
Okay.
But that's literally the point. So literally the point is the remaster crowd that loves the games. I don't have an issue with that. You guys get to play the game you love. Hey, it's a great game, but I really don't want to play another game I played already 3 years ago. That's fine. The multiplayer crowd, Sony's all in on going after this crowd, and I'm like, damn, why I gotta be Naughty Dog? Or I get it. You want Naughty Dog to be part of it, but does that really have to be a priority for them? You couldn't prioritize Guerrilla, who has more years of experience. And you can find other ways, right? But for the gamers, for the gamers, I think Killzone was a more popular multiplayer franchise than what Naughty Dog put out.
I mean, sure, but I didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Killzone and I enjoyed Faction, so I don't care.
Is that coming back out? I mean, I saw some
Killzone. I don't know.
They were saying that it was supposed to be possibly coming back out. Talk about Killzone.
You know, the reality is, clearly, I get Sony's trying to reach to a broader audience, but if you're going to reach to a broader audience, you need to be prepared to receive that broader audience. That means you want to cater to a multiplayer crowd? All right, got it. You expand, get them guys. Hey, you want these remasters so that way you could get the shows in time or whatever. All right, got it. Do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. But then we also got the guys that simply want new games for their new console. That's it. Mm-hmm. We want new games. We want new games for a new console. And for the first time, for the first time, they're doing something that they never did in the history of the brand. Like, we're going to go this extreme length. Like, think about it. If this console generation, and I'm adding a year, ends in 2028. Usually now the wave is 7 years. I'm adding an extra year, meaning we won't get new consoles till 2028. So I'm adding an extra year. Mm-hmm. By the time Naughty Dog's games comes out, we already went through 60% of the lifespan of the PlayStation console. Like, fuck. Like, listen, they got to work this out. And I understand game development, all this stuff. They got to work this out. But in my opinion, right, the priority is a live service game. That's what's got to come out first. And they're having an internal struggle, which I think is a stupid plan anyway, because they decided to do live service games in 2019. Then they buy Bungie in 2021, and Bungie's like, yeah, this is trash. Do something else. Like, what the fuck? Right?
According to insiders, which I don't care.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Then they got the remaster, which again, I have no issues with the remasters, but I'm telling you, the Last of Us 2 remaster is part of the decision-making process that we're not going to get a new game unless it's the factions multiplayer. But as far as a new single player, in fact, I could kind of predict what's going to be the next new game. Not part of the bet, but I have a feeling the next new game that they will release is going to be The Last of Us 3. Because I could already see but I could see the whole scenario. Next year, or whatever, right next year when the show comes out, the season 2, whatever bullshit they do, right? You got The Last of Us 2. Then the following year, you got season 3. Well, guess what they're gonna have before season 3 start, or whatever magic they decide to release the game? The Last of Us 3. It just fits the formula. You know, it just fits the formula. 2025, season 3, The Last of Us 3. It just blends in well. And I have a feeling that is the whole holistic operation and plan that Sony put out. They are tying, as specific for these IP, what happens with the show, with the game, and they're both aligned. And in the end, the gamers that just wants a new game, we just have to sit here and deal with it. We just have to sit here and wait.
Just so I understand our bit. If Naughty Dog releases anything in 2024, that is a new game and not a new remaster. Game. It doesn't have to be single player or multiplayer. It just has to be a new game.
No. It has to be the single player because that's what I want. Factions, I already.
It has to be the single player.
Yes, because factions, I already Factions, I already know. I said in the beginning, factions is the priority, which I hate. So I already know that's like the factions part. We could cut off the bat and get it online because I don't want to trick you. But like I said in the beginning, factions is the number one priority. So I know that has to be at the forefront of the game release. I already know that. Now, I know rumors are canceled. I don't believe the rumors. I think Sony, come hell or high water, factions coming out. That is the priority. The next priority are these remasters. Because of the show, gaining new audience, all that stuff, which I get it, and it's been very successful. The new game, you know, like us that want new single player from Naughty Dog, whether it's a sequel to The Last of Us 3 or a new IP, whatever it is, hell, you know, whatever, even if it's a new Uncharted game, Uncharted 5, whatever the fuck it is, we are put on the back burner because the live service games is the priority and the TV show and the remasters is the priority. So I know they're not going to release a new game other than Factions because that's a priority. But as far as a new single player game, they're not doing that in 2024 because The Last of Us 2 is the priority.
Hey, Porter, right, you got a couple bills you got to pay.
Yeah, the new single player game is 2025 because 2024, that's The Last of Us 2. That's where it's at. All right, let's see, where am I at? I said Liquidata, Pro. Okay, Phase 23 BKNY. Woo, with the super chat. He says, if Xbox releases a Series X, a Slim next year with no disk drive option, that's going to be a bad look, and releasing the same year the PS5 Pro comes out, really bad look for Xbox. Oh, we're going to talk about that because that's the next topic. Oh, we're going to talk about that, right? But shout out to you, you know, my man from BK. Shout out, all right? And we got Lester. He says, so many games to play right now. Let PlayStation cook. But here's the thing. Naughty Dog always cooked. This is what I don't understand. It's not like I'm bringing up something that's like out of the box. Or
here's the thing.
I'm not
your
asking.
Frustration,
yeah, it's frustrating.
Is justified. Your justification is justified, except it's 1 year too early. Because I will be right there with you if this time next year we still don't have a single player.
I'm telling you, I'm just ahead of the game.
I just think you're 1 year too early. Because the thing is, I want a new Naughty Dog game just as much as you do. I want a new single player experience just as much as you do. But the thing is, I just think you're jumping the gun. You're starting the race before the whistle went.
Nah, I see the tea leaves. I listen. Some people can see the tea leaves before everyone else. That's it. I see the tea. I already see the writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I will say this. I hope I lose the bet because either way I win. All right. If I lose the bet, I actually win because I get a new Naughty Dog game, right? And I'll buy it for you. I'll buy. Listen, I will be happy to buy you a new Naughty Dog single player IP in 2024 along with mine. I will be fucking ecstatic because that's a win for me. Okay? Yep. Me beating the bet, let's say, that's not really going to make me happy. It's not. Because listen, I could make more money. I could buy my own games. I don't really care. That doesn't mean nothing. I need new games, bro. I may not be alive in 2025, bro. Right? China could kick shit off.
I mean, now when you get to play the game, mashed potatoes, you might actually die quite soon.
Okay, listen, but I'll die happy though. I'll die happy. I'll die with delicious. All right, but you see what I'm saying? So that doesn't bother me. So really, it will be the only win for me is I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to be. Please let me be wrong. But the tea leaves. Listen. The tea leaves.
You're gonna get more fired up, and we need to get to the next topic.
Let's see. Okay, no. So listen, you got questions, I got answers. Okay, Porrock, do you have this smoke for Sucker Punch? Their last game released in 2022. I feel the expectation indeed is something. No. Because guess what? I already answered that question, bro. Listen. What part of I already read the tea leaves? Y'all don't understand. So let me go.
This is your fault. Get on the podcast. This is your fault.
This is your fault. Yeah. Yes, sir. Listen.
I specifically didn't mention anything like that. You see what I did there?
I know.
I specifically stayed away from that. Because that's a losing strategy, Victory. So it's ironic that you call yourself Victory. That's a losing strategy. You have to come up here and argue this point. I'm not arguing this line.
He got not only got Sucker Punch, but also got Sony Ben too. So I dare someone mention Sony Ben. I got this. Listen, I'm gonna put it on the screen. This shit's already been answered. Okay.
Oh man.
You know, Sucker Punch released, you know, on whatchamacallit. One, Ghost of Tsushima is actually an open world game, bigger in scope. I'm not saying it's better, but in 2021, they gave us the Ikishi expansion pack and they gave it multiplayer, to which they've been supporting to this day. So they've been busy. So I understand why they don't have a game in 2023, 2024, because they continue to support Ghost of Tsushima, right? By giving us the Ikishi Island expansion pack, and they added multiplayer, to which they added raids and all this content, kind of like a mini live service games. So I see they've been busy with actual new content in this thing, right? And they also gave an upgrade. They gave an upgrade. I don't think it was free, but they gave an upgrade for the PS5. So I get what they're doing. Also, Sucker Punch is not as big as Naughty Dog. They're actually a small studio. They don't have the teams, which in my opinion, I will blame Sony for that one. You got Sucker Punch, which is a small studio. You got Sony Ben, which is a small studio. Hey, you want to attract, again, like I said in the beginning, you want to attract more people, you need to expand and make sure you're able to receive these. If you got 10 chairs in a restaurant, you can't expect 50 people to eat in your restaurant.
Nah, I'm going to need you to just fall back for a bit, okay?
What?
Sony doesn't normally publicize too much when they expand their studio, so you don't know.
Okay, yes,
that's just got an expansion.
That is true. That is true. So I will say that. So they might be expanding Sucker Punch, but at the time, a couple of years ago, they weren't that big. They might be getting bigger now. So that is a true statement. Now I'm gonna add another flavor, just in case y'all want to bring up Sony Bend, because that's the other damage control.
Guys,
but you know what? I don't want to set you guys up. Okay. Sony Ben now released a bunch of remasters. They got pulled out of their Uncharted project. While they were doing Days Gone, they were working on an actual new Uncharted game. They were working on that. Remember the whole staggered, two teams doing stuff? In 2021, Sony said, you know what? Give this new project to Naughty Dog. We don't want you to do it. We want you to start a new IP. And that's when the whole new IP, Days Gone 2, that's when it all got out of hand. So I understand why Sony Ben's not going to have a new game either, because they're fucked up. Not fucked up as in bad people, but they're just in a bad situation. They were already working on a new game, and they were told, nah, give that over to Naughty Dog. We want you, in 2021, start on a new IP. And then that's when the whole pitch for Days Gone 2, nah, we're not doing that. And it's like shit went left. So this is why we're not getting a new game. But I understand Sony Ben's fucked up, and no one's damage controlling it. Everybody sees, yeah, shit ain't go right. So there you go. Any questions?
I have about an hour left with you. So
okay. So anyway, so that's pretty much So let's move on to the next topic. All right. At the end of the day, I just wish Sony handled Naughty Dog. Really, the live service game is probably the biggest thing I'm gonna blame out of everything else. The remasters partially, because I still feel Last of Us 2. That's the focus of effort. Last of Us 2. That's gonna be the darling of 2024, in my opinion. And they're going to let it sell. It's going to sell month after month. Every episode of the TV show is going to push more sales. They're not going to see a need to push out a new game in 2024 when The Last of Us 2 is selling off the rack or digitally down in the stores. That's just my opinion, right? All right. Last topic. Boom. We got the announcement. Yo, these insiders, hey. And we both wrong, right? We got to both admit that these insiders got it right. They're 2 for 2.
Hey, listen.
They're 2 for 2,
I
bro.
never had an issue with them being
No,
right. My
no.
issue is that people don't count when they have won.
No.
That's my issue.
Sit right here, bro. We wrong. You not leaving me alone in this shit. Me and you, we right in that. We going to hell together. All right.
No.
We both committed the crime.
No.
Listen. Don't. Oh, see. No. See. You that dude.
Remember, we were actually excited about this one.
No. Chat. Listen, chat. Wow. I need to talk to you, chat. We got to talk. Wait, hold on. I got to talk to you, chat. Listen, chat. Hear me out. M's that dude. We both commit a crime, and he's snitching. He ain't doing the jail time. Nah, he gonna snitch on me, bro. You snitching on me, bro. You snitching.
How
You
much
snitching.
How much
You snitching. You snitching, bro.
I'm telling you,
you know,
that was never our position.
I'm doing a hard time here. My man out on probation. How's that? How's that, bro? What's going on here, Chad? I'm out here. I'm out here.
We were never in the store.
Chocolate Thunder is like, yo, who that new Chocolate Thunder out there? Yo, who that new Puerto Rican do? You better mind your business.
Hey,
mind your goddamn business. And out here,
we planned the heist, but we never were in the bank. We never committed it. We never committed the heist.
Lies. We committed the heist. That's what you told them. You told them I committed
the heist. We always said they could be right. It's just that we don't like it when they are wrong and they are not called out for it. That's literally my entire position.
I'm snitching. He out on probation. Yo, what's that program called? You got a new identity. You got a whole new identity. They got you a house in the suburbs. You got a whole new name. You snitch. I'm here locked up. My man snitching. He got a house. He got a wife and kids. He got a whole new name. Everything's handed to him. This is some Vietnam play. I know what you mean. But you know what, though? It's just, they're 2 for 2. So I think it's safe to say. But let's talk about, let's before we go on to the pro, let's talk about what it is. For first, we got Victory. Man, PR, I think the smoke should be directed at Bungie. Andy has been working. All we can do is speculate on why Factions was cut. If Fair Games is trash, I hope it's not. We need to question Bungie. You know, that's a good point.
No, Fair Games isn't looking good.
Victory, yeah, it is not. Yeah, Victory, you are right. Good. Which to me, ultimately, we can also pin the blame on Sony because they bought Bungie to fix all this, and we got to see how this pans out. But if all this shit is fucked up, if Fair Games is trash, if Foam Stars is trash, if Concord, right? That's the other game. Concord is trash.
Hold on. Foam Stars isn't them.
Oh yeah, it's Square Enix. You're right. It's Square Enix.
Yeah.
So Concord, right? Concord, I think is another first party, right? And Deviation Games. I think something. We'll see. We have to see all this. Hey, Sony spent billions of dollars into this stuff, and they're all in.
We have to see where that's coming. That's absolutely right. Like they did spend billions of dollars into this live service push. Bungie is a part of that. We've got to see what we get out of it because there is an argument to be made. Like, why didn't you grab Ember Labs? Why didn't you grab other people that are smaller studios that you could turn into the next Guerrilla Games and everything else? So you decided to go for this live service route. You decided
and
to
ignored
go for the
so much potential. You're right. There's so many potential small studios that can really hit, right? Ember Lambs is one. The Seafood Studio devs is another one. They and those games, people I enjoyed, Kenya. Kenna. Love the game, right? And I love Seafood. I have no issues with that, with those games, right? And everybody talks about, we can't live on just AAA, the industry's gonna get crushed. But yet we don't invest in the smaller studios that actually create great single A, AA indie games.
Exactly.
Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't complain and tell us AAA games are gonna destroy the industry, but the industry don't actually invest in single A, AA indie games.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want? It's true. So
there are great studios out there that they could have gotten instead, and I don't mind them going for the live service push. Okay, the thing is, I've always said to people, games as a service are trash except for the ones that are not. I'm gonna see if Sony can create the ones that are not. We'll see. We'll see. And
there's no better way I can explain it. It's like you're guilty until proven innocent. That's literally how gas games are.
There you go.
You are automatically trash until you can prove you're good.
100%. Even factions, even these new factions, like people think I'm defending. I just disagree on P-Rock's frustration because I think it's a year too early. But aside from that, everything he's saying is truth. Everything he's saying is truth. I just think that he's saying a little bit too early. But my man says he can read the tea leaves, and he's preaching to the choir that the flood is coming, and no one wants to build no one's out.
I'm Noah, and all y'all shaming me. I'm like, all right.
Exactly.
Oh, now you want on this boat. Now you want. Sorry, I want the 2 chickens. You don't get to be on this boat because God said so. The 2 chickens, you could come up.
Simon and Harry, come on.
That's it. Come on.
Simon and Harry, come on, get them.
They're like, buck. Yeah. No, y'all die and suffer.
You're like, you're VIP. We got a cook for you.
Like the 2 llamas. Yeah, get up in here. You on the list. All right, PlayStation 5 all digital. Another rumor that ended up true. Even the design. Remember that they took a quick snapshot with the slip?
We saw that little thing. Yeah, we saw that.
I didn't understand what the design was, but that's actually 4 individual pieces. That's why they have the design, right? So
I mean, I always understood what the design was from that point. I just didn't think it would look as ugly as it does, because I think this thing is ugly. Oh my god, I hate the look of this thing. But yeah, keep going.
Okay. So hold on. Let me go to the PlayStation blog, so I could read it directly, right? Because I don't want to paraphrase anything and mess it up.
Give the people the good information.
Yeah, straight. Give accurate. Give them the facts. Give them the facts. Nothing but the facts. Nothing but the facts. All right. So
hey, by the way, you should put a poll up, okay? I know that you already have a poll about COD, but nobody cares about COD.
Okay.
You should put a poll up about what people think about whether Naughty Dog will release a new single-player game before 2025.
Okay, so I'm gonna put 2024. So this is what I'm gonna do. All right. So this is I'm gonna do a new poll, guys, because nobody cares about Call of Duty. Got it. I'm gonna start a poll. The question is, when will Naughty Dog's new single-player game come out? And I'm gonna put two options. I'm just gonna put 2024 or 2025 plus, meaning beyond.
Yeah. That's fair. That's
okay.
fair. Let's see what the community feels.
Let's see.
Let's see if people think you're tripping, or whether that's just me giving pushback for nothing. Let's see how many people are on my team here.
All right.
Y'all got two very clear, very distinct options. You know.
Yeah, that's why I want to make it. I didn't want to make it convoluted. So when is ND's new single player
game? There's no third
game
option
coming?
You'll pick your size. Okay. Oh, by the way, hit the like button. I know more people are going to vote in the poll than are going to hit the like button. You're like, guys, there were 400 votes for the previous poll, and nobody gives a fuck about God. But y'all won't hit the like button. Come on, get it up to 200. Yeah.
It's a simple like button. All right, when is ND's new single player game coming out? First option, 2024. If you hit the like button,
your vote counts twice. That's how we make it.
2025 or beyond. And there's the new poll. Everybody, when do you think their new single player game? Not sequel. It could be a sequel. It could be a new IP. It could be whatever. But a new game. Not a remaster. Not a remake. A new game. Could be Uncharted 5. It could be Lost Legacy 2.
Watch me.
It could be a new IP. It could be anything. It could be a new IP. It could be a new Jak and Daxter. Not a remake or remaster, but a new Jak and Daxter. It could be whatever thing. Just a new game. We all know what a new game is. Let's not blur the lines. 2024, the new game's coming out.
Hit the like button too. You're going to got more votes than the one.
I know, than the like button.
Jesus Christ. So everybody rushes. Everybody rushes to the poll.
Yes, there's 50
like
votes.
On your way.
There's 52 votes and 70 likes. Like, please. Like, can't you like scroll? Can't you scroll the cursor over and click just like too? Bit. Like, please.
Hey, we're gonna make a new rule. Only people that hit the like button are allowed to vote. All right, we're gonna make this a house rule.
This is the votes are gonna come in faster than the like button. Yo, that is hilarious. Already has 61 votes.
Yo, you're either like 30 likes, but you're either like 70 votes. Like, what's going on here?
Oh, snap. Oh, it's at 72 votes. There's more votes than likes. It's official.
Yo, guys, come on.
It's official.
You're making us take an L.
Man, yo, I took an L. This is an L.
I was like, your show is dog shit.
Yeah, my show is listen. They just want boot up the show, set the poll, end the show, shut the fuck up. Exactly. That's it.
Just like yo, just want to get the voices heard.
Oh wow, this is crazy. That's funny. Damn, bro, this is how they do me. Oh shit, you guys. Oh man, I love you guys.
Know what?
I love you guys.
Going from now on, listen. What I see is that
96
about 50 likes. We're gonna get you to start having 10 polls per show in our 500.
96.
We're gonna start social engineering.
Maybe my likes isn't. Maybe it's not refreshing. Maybe my screen's not refreshing. Maybe that's it. Maybe
I see 172 likes, but there's like 17,000 votes.
Wait, how many? You see 72 likes?
172 likes and like 17,000 votes.
Oh,
like, these people are crazy.
Oh no, because I literally see 70 likes. Maybe it's not refreshing on my end.
Yeah, you need to refresh. It's 172.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me
174.
Okay, let me see. Oh, whoa. The antagonizer in chief, man. Hey, man, listen. I want to say this, JayDub. I want to say my condolences.
Oh man.
Listen, I want to say that I think it's terrible that you as a racing fan with $2,000, $5,000, $20,000 setups, your heart and soul. I mean, you feel like Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder.
Facts.
And yet Microsoft half-ass your ray tracing.
Absolutely, man.
You deserve better. You deserve better, JayDub. You don't deserve. You don't deserve that.
What the Digital Foundry said, the textures and the ray tracing is soupy and low res.
That should look like green bean soup, bro. I'm sorry. Listen, you deserve
GT7. They told me to go back to GT7, P-Rock.
You deserve better, man. You don't deserve this. You're one of the dudes that actually stream Xbox games, and this is what they got. This is how they pay you, bro.
They did me dirty, and so do you see why I talk shit about Xbox all day? Do you see?
Because they hurt you.
Like this, right?
They hurt you, bro. They don't understand you speak from a place of pain. You know, it's wrong what they're doing to you.
It's hurtful, you know what I'm saying? I spend my money just like the next man on these goddamn dog shit Xbox consoles, and they can't even give me the only
ray tracing. They got dedicated ray tracing cores.
Exactly.
25 T-flops when you enable them.
Yes. Listen, man. Listen. This is one thing I want to say about Forza. How can a franchise that has been a main staple from the 360 era all the way down, it's been consistently high rated, giving GT a race for his money, right?
90 plus Metacritics.
Yes, 90 plus consistently.
The nerve to not have Forza in the Game of the Year awards. The nerve.
Exactly. Listen, the mere fact Forza has been a game that most PlayStation guys don't even dare like poking fun of or anything like that. That was Xbox's. That was their W every year.
Card damage.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
livery mode.
Listen, the sad part about it, Puerto Rock.
What's up?
I blame Game Pass for this. I blame Game Pass for the degradation of the quality of the few, right? It hasn't been many, but the few Xbox games that have been worthwhile. And this year, I got an early access code, so I've been playing it for like 2 weeks. I've been,
look at that. You got an early access code.
Yes.
And this is how they do you, bro.
And this is how they do me. And Puerto Rock,
fake
if I tell
ray tracing.
Bro, I've only put 2 hours. I've had it for 2 weeks. I've only put 2 hours in, and I can go up and down the list of the reasons why this game has failed to live up to Forza Motorsport 6, Forza Motorsport 7.
So it's not even. You're not even trying to compare it to GT. You just wanna. You just wanna hold it to the Forza standard.
I just want to hold it to the Forza standard. That's all I want. That's all I want. So I'm telling everybody,
this hurts.
Go back and play Forza Motorsport 6 and 7, and then this is not the game.
You just say just play 6. That's what you're saying. Just play Forza Motorsport 6.
Go play 6 and 7, man. That's really all you can do, man.
6. Oh man,
it's Game Pass. I blame Game Pass. And see, what Game Pass did, Puerto Rock, and you can tell me, you tell me if I'm wrong or not, right? But I'm just saying, as a gamer. Right, as a Xbox gamer, and as this being my franchise of choice and my genre of choice, I find it ironic. Once Forza Motorsport finally get into Game Pass, the Metacritic score just dropped. It's one of the lowest rated games on Steam. Nobody's playing it. The game officially drops today.
Some people didn't even know it came out. I see it on Twitter.
Nobody talking about Forza.
I see it on Twitter. People be like, "Wait a minute, this game is out?" I'm like,
exactly.
Oh shit!
When has that ever happened, Puerto Rock? When has that ever happened? Never before.
Hold the line, JayDub. You gotta hold the line, man. Hold the line.
Listen.
Hold the line. Keep that shield up.
Listen, all the previous Forzas. What happened? Microsoft will pull a goddamn McLaren on stage, a Lambo on stage, a Ferrari on stage. There was this big blown out event. All of a sudden now, why does it seem like they still dropping this game? They shadow dropping fucking Forza in the middle of the night, and nobody knows and nobody cares.
The collector's edition came. The collector's edition came with a bus pass.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh man,
that
shit came with a one-time trip too. You can't even get the bus back. You just go one direction. You have to find your own way back.
The sad part about it, Puerto Rock, is You know how we kind of joke and say, well, the check cleared or the check didn't clear with Digital Foundry? God damn, that check didn't clear because they put 2 feet deep in the ass of Forza. They went all in. They didn't hold no punches.
I showed a
They
video.
didn't hold no punches. Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Oh, man. That's what I'm going to say, man. My condolences, man. Prayers to you, bro.
Dude. Yeah, it's upsetting. And I'm going to be honest, there's going to be a lot of people that say, just like Starfield, just like Redfall, they're gonna fix it later. They'll patch it later. They'll do some stuff later to fix it, bro. Game Pass, I'm telling you, laugh now, right?
Game Pass.
Listen, I'm telling you, Puerto Rock, laugh now, right? Laugh now, because I know you don't give a shit about Forza. Laugh now, but mark my words. Once the next Call of Duty come out and the following Call of Duty, and you start seeing a Metacritic, not even Metacritic score, you start seeing the user engagements go down, you start seeing people move away, mark my words, it's Game Pass.
JayDub, I don't play Call of Duty either, so.
Well, I'm just saying, just in general, right? I'm just saying, in general.
I know, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. Hey, I'm safe. Now, Jay Barry might be hurting.
Yeah.
You know, I feel bad for that because he's a big Call of Duty player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Game Pass. Oh, man. I'm just saying, man, I just want to know, yo, listen, my heart, my prayers is to you, brother, in these trying times. I'm sorry Xbox did this to you, man. The monsters that eat breakfast is not eating anything, bro.
Yeah.
It's not the monster,
not enough CUDA cores, man.
It's a gerbil.
Yeah.
It's a gerbil chewing on its own vomit. That's all Xbox Series X is. It's not a monster that eats breakfast. It's a gerbil that eats his own vomit. I'm just saying. It is what it is. But hey, glad to hear. So we're going to go with the last segment. So another rumor that ended up being true. First, it was the PlayStation Portal, which ended up being true. And now we got the new Slimline. So now let me read the article. All right. So title, smaller PS5 design comes with 1 terabyte storage for PS5 and PS5 Digital Edition. New model provides options to add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive to the PS5 Digital Edition. As the holiday season approaches, we are excited to share that we have a new PS5 model launching. To address the evolving needs of players, our engineering and design teams collaborated on a new form factor that provides greater choice and flexibility. The same technology features that make PS5 the best to play are packed into a smaller form factor, along with an attachable Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive and a 1 terabyte SSD for more internal storage. The new PS5 has been reduced in volume by more than 30%. Now, let me stop right at that statement. It's just funny that they make the statement, and the first question I seen people ask, does my old plates fit? The thing is smaller. How can you? No. It's smaller. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, but does my old plates fit? It's 30% smaller. No, Scatty. Anyway, a weight by 18%. Listen, the PS5 is pretty heavy, especially if you got the disc. Listen, I traveled with that sucker. It's a heavy, like I literally have my carry-on luggage. That's the only thing that's in it. Yeah. And 24% compared to previous models. There are 4 separate cover panels with the top portion a glossy look while the bottom remains in matte. If you purchase the PS5 Digital Edition, you can add Ultra HD Blu-ray disc for PS5 later, as it would be sold separately for $79.99, $80. 119, 120 euro, 99 in British pounds, and 11,000 yen. The new PS5 model will be available starting this November. NPD unlock, right, JayDub? I think NPD's unlocked. NPD unlocked. In US at select local retailers and directplaystation.com where available. It will continue to roll out globally in the following months. So, Europe, Australia, Canada, all that stuff. Once inventory of the current PS5... What happened?
Where good food can be found.
Yeah. That's like a whole conversation. Like, once inventory of the current PS5 model has sold out, the new PS5 will become the only model. So pretty much no more current models being in production. What's left is left. What's remained to ship, they're gonna ship it. But I would imagine the production line already probably halted, and the production lines are pushing this new model. Any inventory, any new inventory we're getting is just pretty much stuff from the main warehouse finishing off, whatever. The recommended retail prices for the new PS model are as follows, beginning with the rollout in November at participating retailers. This is where it gets weird. In the US, the PS5 that already has a disc drive is $49.99, $500.
Yeah.
But the digital edition is $449.99, so $450, right? And in Europe, you can see the numbers there. So this is where the topic, all right? Obviously, we know Sony always does slims. That's normal. Smaller form factor. And I think people will appreciate, especially new owners, that the console's smaller. Because this is a big bitch. It is a big bitch.
Absolutely.
Right? It is big. But I love it. It's an amazing console. But a 30% smaller will be beneficial to a lot of people that want a smaller console, smaller form factor. But people have an issue, or they're really wondering, the digital edition being $449. Right? Okay, it's not making sense. Now, let's impact what we know, right? The specs are the same. Let me add this. I'm sorry. A horizontal stand will be included with the new PS5 model. Also, and if you know, that horizontal stand is really a clip. Have you seen it? It's like a little clip looking thing. Yeah.
A little plastic clip, yeah.
Yeah. Also, a new vertical stand compatible with all PS5 models will be sold separately. For $30, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's the standard model, right? But I don't know why this would be applicable to the old PlayStation, because the old PlayStation came with, unless they want the aesthetic design. That's
the design. The design.
If you want to switch it up.
Yeah. So pretty much
it's a chrome piece. Yeah.
Yeah. So the specs are the same, pretty much. The only difference between the two in terms of the internals is you get 175 gigs of extra storage. So they could round out the number to 1 terabyte even, Steven, right?
Yeah.
But the issue people are having, and this is more like a scratch your head moment. The digital edition increased in price for $50, and people are wondering why. Now, I know we already talked about this. Let's not get ahead of the audience, because I think we already talked about this on Twitter. We'll get to that point. But right now, people are talking about, why is it $450? The first answer is, because it's 1 terabyte drive, right? It's now bumped up to 1 terabyte. Some people saying, well, you can pay $50 and get an actual whole terabyte external, right? But here's the thing, though. The PS5 digital edition going up in price by $50 because of a 1 terabyte increase, the 175 gig increase, doesn't really make sense, because the PS5 Ultra edition, we'll call it the Ultra edition, whatever, the disc edition, also has a 1 terabyte drive, and that didn't go up by $50. It remained the same price. So it can't be the extra 175 gigs. That can't be the reason why the PS5 digital edition increased by $50. The more realistic answer is what Extreme and I talked about earlier. The actual reason is, if you price the PS5 digital edition at $400 in line with the price now, and then you buy the disc drive, which is $80, technically speaking, that's $480 for a disc-based console. Yeah. So I think what happened is Sony put themselves in a dilemma, right? They are currently selling the disc-based version for $500, and they want to keep selling it at $500 until stock depletes. If they were to announce this new Slim, right? Our first thought was, why did they even make a disc-based Slim model? That doesn't really make sense. Extreme had a great idea. They should have just made the digital edition the standard model. And if you want the disc-based, then create a bundled version with the separate disc drive already inserted. But the problem is that setup will be $480. Yeah. So you can't advertise that for $480 while you're still selling the current console at $500. Sony would, with this announcement, Sony would have had, let's say if they done that, if they would have just kept with one scoop, which I thought that's what they're gonna do, and with Extreme's idea of just create a version with already pre-assembled for those that are lazy parents, they don't want to deal with that. And like Extreme said, there are stupid people that don't know how to, that's not good with technology, so do the work for them. But the problem is that setup will be $480, and I don't think Sony wants to drop the price of the current model to $480. They want to keep it at $500 to maximize profit. Okay.
Absolutely.
So this is the situation you do. Okay, so you release another disc-based edition for $500. But here's your problem. if you price the digital edition for $400 and you buy the attachable disc, that's $80, that's $480. Technically speaking, who the hell's going to buy the disc-based edition? You're going to save $20 just doing it this way. So I think Sony's gambling, even including with the heat, to see what would happen if they launched a slim model for $449. And I think they're just playing their cards to see what type of feedback they get. If they don't get much negative feedback, they pretty much won. They're like, woo, we got what we want. And that's what I think what's happening. Sony's rolling the dice to see how the consumer will react to all this. If the consumer don't care, because market dictates the term, if gamers are like, I don't give a shit, I'm buying it, I don't give a damn about the price, whatever, I'm balling, I got the money, then Sony's going to be like, woo, we escaped that goal. And I think that's what's happening. I think Sony should have, but this is more on the consumer side than the business side, Sony should have just released just the Slim, the digital edition, that's it. Use Extreme's idea for those that already know they want the disc included, a edition with disc already assembled for $480, and then drop the price of the current PS5 to $480 right before the holidays. That will be like the price drop. So the current model PS5 we have now, $480, the Slim $400, that, and then these new models, it's all priced the same. I think a $20 thing, it shouldn't have been whatever. I think Sony's gambling on the feedback, but to be honest, I don't think you're gonna have to be honest, the biggest blowback I seen this gen for PlayStation was that goddamn PS3 store, which blows my fucking mind. Excuse my language. I don't know how that shit blew up so big when you got like 10 people using the store, but it blew up. This ain't gonna blow up. I don't think there's gonna be any regular repercussion on this. I think people generally don't care. I just did it as an observation, like, this is interesting. This is weird, but it is. But what do you guys think on the whole overall thing? We'll start with JayDub since you just got on the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think because I've been seeing, obviously we talked about it on Twitter, so I've been seeing a lot of different point of views. Clearly, I don't care, right? But I think what Sony could have done is stick with the $399 price, made the disc drive $99.
Yes, they could have done that too. And then you know what?
But
they could have done that.
It would have been an alternative. He would have been, then instead of the conversation would have been talking about $50, then it would have been like, well, this drive here I can find on eBay for $25. Like, why should I have to pay this? But so I don't think that was a perfect match, but I will say this.
That idea would have been better, though. That idea would have been better.
No, I think it would have been better. I do. I think it would have been received.
There's still going to be heat, but
people, because we had this conversation before about when these
consoles. To be honest, $80 is not that much cheaper. To be honest,
and it's not. And it's not.
$80, $99.
Yeah,
it's not really that big. Yeah, it really is
in 2023. To majority of people, I'll be honest, it's not. No, majority of people are not going to care, right? Yeah. If you want a PS5, think about it. Spider-Man comes out in a week, next week, right? Spider-Man comes out. People are not going to care about this $50 difference. If they get all their games digital, they'll go to digital route. If they just want to get if they have a bunch of discs, they'll get your disc and they'll move on. They don't care. Or if you're smart, right, and you really want to save some money, you go and buy you a digital right now for $300 and call it a day.
And I think that's what they're doing.
Buy you a PS5 disc. I think it's on sale for like $449 right now in some territories.
Like that, right?
Yeah, and just be okay with that for a while. I think, but again, for conversation, because we know we're on YouTube and we're on Twitter, and the rah-rah that we have and the people that we're around is that echo chamber is zero, right? Because we heard the same thing about the PSVR. Oh, it's too expensive. It's it's the number 8 top selling accessory in the world right now. The DualSense controller, DualSense Edge controller. It's the number 1 selling accessory in the world right now, right? For controllers. this PlayStation Portal, even though people shitting on it, this crazy, it doesn't do anything. Guess what? It's going to be the number one selling accessory this holiday season.
Can we admit PlayStation on that Apple wave?
Yes,
they out here balling like Apple, bro. They're not playing.
Hold on. I have to give a pushback for that. Listen,
you don't like Apple.
Always been. Sony has always been on the Apple wave.
That's true.
They were the Apple before Apple.
Yeah,
actually.
that's true.
Have you ever tried to buy a Sony Vaio PC?
No, you're right.
The Sony Vaio was the highest
where people are like, oh, Sony's now fitting
laptops.
Apple. I'm like, they've always been on that same
Even their TVs, the way
their cameras, their TVs have been a little bit more expensive. That's true.
JayDub. What was his name? Steve Jobs offered Sony the opportunity to make like Mac PCs. So Mac laptops. They were the only company that he ever offered. Like you could make.
Because Sony had the best design.
Really?
Exactly.
Sony had the best design.
You
Apple
could have Vaios with Macs, which by the way, they fucked up on
Sony,
that part. But the
designers,
point is,
they poached their
Sony
designers.
has always been on the Apple wave. Like this is old news, okay? Now, let me tackle this. First of all, the worst part about this thing is that it's damn ugly. It is an ugly design. I hate
I think it's better. I think it's better than what we have now.
No. I hate the slits.
I
understand the slit on the bottom side, on the right-hand side from this perspective. I understand that because that's the part that actually needs to be converted. But the slit on the top side, why? Why is there? And I know that people are going to be like, oh, you can access the SSD a bit easier. But removing one plate, whether it was a small plate or a big plate, doesn't really make a difference. I hate the slit on the left-hand side. I think it just looks so goddamn ugly. I cannot stand the way this thing looks. It is the most ugly thing. I love the way the original looks. This thing ruins it. Okay, they fucked it up. That top plate needs to be a single plate. There's no reason, no functional reason for it to be split in two. Therefore, it shouldn't be split in two. I feel strongly about that. If you disagree, I understand. Okay,
no, I get it. Okay. No, I still get it.
Next, let's talk about the $50 thing. The $50 thing is very simple to explain, okay? From a company's perspective, they're charging $50 because the digital edition, as it was, did not give them enough margins. That's it. That's literally all it is, because the $499 PlayStation already was making profit for them, and that was already enough of a margin for them to keep it the same price. Very easy to understand there. The digital edition, even if it wasn't losing, it was giving them very little profit, so therefore they increased it by $50 to improve their margins. That's very easy. From a consumer perspective, what you are getting for your $50, and the reason you should be happy to pay it over the current edition, is that you get to escape the PlayStation Store. Okay, listen. If you are right now sitting with $400 in your pocket and you're thinking to yourself, I can wait until November before I get a PlayStation 5 and I want the digital edition. You already know that's the one that you want. Wait and pay the extra $50 so you will have the ability down the line to escape the PlayStation Store pricing if you choose to. That is it. That is what your $50 buy you. Yes, the extra memory is nice, but it's not really the reason why you would justify that as a person. If you value being able to escape and to be able to buy your games later down the line from multiple sources or secondhand, if you think you will ever partake in that, then go ahead and save your money, pay a little bit more, and you will have the ability if you choose to. Or, for example, if you're going to travel a lot, and you still want to have a physical edition, what you could do if you're P-Rock is if you say, hey, I have this game digitally. I don't need my disk drive for this travel. I'm going to make my PlayStation lighter by temporarily detaching
listen. I'm watching this Christmas. Puerto Rico, he gonna go to the mailbox. He gonna check the mailbox. It's gonna be a little package there. It's gonna say from Santa Claus. He's gonna open it up. It's gonna say PlayStation Portal. And it's gonna be there, man. So when he's on base and stuff, and he's not at home,
I have my next giveaway. I have my next giveaway on YouTube. Don't even. I knew you were gonna bring up that Portal shit, boy. You better leave that shit alone.
Man.
Yo, JayDub's gonna come and force me to play it. Play it. Yeah. It's gonna be like, you know, like an episode in Saw. I'm gonna be tied down to have PlayStation Portal, and then I'm gonna have this thing that rips my head off. Choose. Play Portal or lose your eyeballs. Choose. I'm be sweating. I'm like, all right, I'll play it. And it's foam stars. I'm like, oh.
Oh man.
Listen. From a consumer's perspective, you guys are getting what you should get. All right, listen. And then finally, P-Rock, talking about the whole 2 SKU thing. Number one, it isn't exactly the same as before, right? Because now there's a plinth of a PlayStation 5, and they will either add or not add a detachable drive to it from the factory for you. Like it's literally like here's your actual thing. So they are still getting the manufacturing line to be streamlined. Okay. It's just that there's just 2 parts. You know, it will split. It will be like, okay, these guys we attach to the drive. These guys we just ship it without the drive. So it makes it easier on Sony's end. Yeah.
What if? Here's this funny part. What if when when these consoles come out, obviously you're gonna have influencers, open box, whatever it's called, right? Yeah. All that stuff video. What if that PS5 is nothing more than the thing already attached to it? It's not
that's literally it. Like there's not 2 different SKUs.
Why did just because right now I'm thinking that they embedded it, and I'm thinking that
that's true.
You know what? You might be right. It's not embedded. They just put it together for you. And when people buy it and they open it up, they're gonna be like,
the good thing about that is that you can remove it yourself if you wanted. You would just have to get a matching plate.
So you might as well buy as well buy the disc version because it's cheaper.
Exactly. That's what I was going to.
But you might be right. That disc version might just be the thing already attached.
It is. It's the same design.
It's not a separate unit. It's the exact same thing.
Them to attach it for you before. It's a bit like if you bought a motherboard and RAM. Okay, and then you can have the motherboard shipped with the RAM already installed, or you can install the RAM yourself.
Separate,
It's basically it. They just say you click.
Now, do you think I think it is, but I'm just want to ask. Do you think the attachable disk drive also comes with the plate?
Yes. So the attachable disk drive will come with the plate that it needs to be converted so that it will always look as if you have bought a disc version.
But the disc
now, one thing I wanted to say,
won't have a plate to turn it into a discless version.
One thing I want to say is that I wish that the attachable drive had external connection. What I mean by this is it will be really cool if for the PlayStation 6, of course, they will have this version, they will have their own version, but it'd be really cool if they say, hey, listen, if you buy the PlayStation 6 digital version, you can use the same drive as the PlayStation 5 because all you really need is to just read the disc, authenticate the purchase, and then transfer data over because that's the advantage.
You know what?
So it would have been really cool if that was going to be an extra thing, where it's like for later consoles, you could use on your PlayStation 9, you could use your same PlayStation 5 external drive because you can just connect it by USB-C or something. That would be really cool. I guess they could make that later, but it would be cool if now there was like an actual separate standalone drive that could be across all PlayStations, so that if people want like a sleeker look outside, but then they would just hide this thing, in a cupboard somewhere, that would be cool. But in any case, that's just kind of like peeking at straws. So anyways, I think this thing is an entirely successful product. I just hate the way that the design is. I think that the 4 separate plates look stupid. I think it would have been a fine compromise if it was 3 plates. So again, the top plate was a solid plate as it was.
One side has the top and bottom separate, but the other side solid.
Because I understand the bottom. Yeah, exactly. I understand the bottom because you have to make it compatible.
But what does the other side have to do with...
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, and the thing is, it's going to, when they do special editions,
maybe the symmetry
cuts in the design.
Maybe the symmetry.
Like imagine this. Yeah, I know for symmetry it looks okay, but imagine like the special edition for like the next Horizon game, and they do give you the split special edition. Now you're gonna have this line where there's nothing, and it's gonna cut into the design.
That's why they should have done. That's why they should have done the whole
they should have done a solid top, exactly. So that when you do special designs, it's just really nice and
around
slick.
That. Yeah.
Right. I don't want them to design around this hole in the middle. I don't like it. I think it's now look, in the future they could change it. They could just be like, we're gonna change the top plate to be.
Let me say this.
So it's on the listing.
On the left hand side and the plate where that split is, that line. If they made that, if that would have been like a RGB line that was the same, like the PlayStation blue color,
or like a light,
I think that would have been fucking awesome. Yeah, if that was an LED,
like a light LED,
like
Night Rider.
Yeah,
okay.
it'll make it look like a PS2, kind of like with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that
actually PS4. It's actually
PS4.
like a PS4.
Yeah, PS4. Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be cool. That would be cool. I just hate the slate. I think that the slate at the end of the day is just to mess with future special console designs. I also don't like the fact that the top is glossy and the bottom is matte. I'm just like, I liked the slickness of the OG design. Okay,
it was just one
beautiful, seamless thing.
Yeah,
the picture.
If you haven't put a rock, show them. But it'll show you the OG PS5 versus the new one. It's a big fucking difference. That 30% is a big fucking difference.
Yeah, right there. Look at that. That's outright.
That's significant.
Just outright slimmer.
Yeah, and then it is. And like Puerto Rock said, that's a big bitch. Like it can't even like my PS5 can't even.
When I opened that box and I pulled it out, I was like, "Hey, this is a
Puerto
big
Rock.
one."
I was so embarrassed, and I'm gonna tell you why. You remember when they leaked from the when they announced the PS5 or whatever, and a leak came out showing how big it was, and I was like, nah, that's not it.
I thought
Then they showed the guy holding it, and it was like from his chin all the way down to his knees. I was like, no, that's not it.
It was the Japanese dude. You know, he was a small person.
Rationalize it. I kept trying to rationalize it. No, it's because that dude is small. That's why it looks that big.
That dude's like 5'2".
Opened it up. I was like, this bitch is big. I said, no, they wouldn't lie. This bitch is big.
That bitch,
Bro,
JayDub's like, this is how we roll in Texas.
I love the size of the OG.
This is.
I put it there. It stands out. It's big. It's bold. It's beautiful.
I'm looking at it right now, and to this day, I'm like, yo, this is one big ass console, bro.
It is.
It's a beautiful.
Thank God.
PS3
much better.
Yo, thank God.
PS3 was
easy. Yo, thank God I got TSA pre-check. I don't have to open my suitcase. That big bitch. I got TSA pre-check. All right. But hey, so let's go on to some conversation. So I want to show.
Oh, just one last thing. One last thing.
Go ahead.
About the vertical stand. People were complaining for the entire 2020 about the stand that came included. Now people want to complain that the stand isn't included. Like, you cannot make people happy.
No, I could explain. Because when they included a vertical stand, people actually went to trade school to learn how to use a screwdriver.
Oh,
so now they want to put that skill to use, and now you take it away. Degrees. That's it. You got your engineering, and now it's obsolete. Get back to making sushi. All right. Now that they learn how to use a screwdriver, they can't use it. Exactly. What the fuck?
Now they can't use it. Now they have to click it in. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
That's bullshit. You know, they got the engineering degrees and they're ready to go. Shout out to Brap. He put out a tweet. He said, as a consumer, I personally don't care for PlayStation's Apple-esque approach with certain things. This is why we need a suitable console competitor to PlayStation to deter these types of pricing strategies, right? Deter, right? I don't agree. Apple has a huge competition. I put completion, should have been competition. With Samsung, the reality, Apple consumers don't care. Most PlayStation gamers don't care what Xbox does. Only PlayStation can hurt itself. Xbox not doing anything. And that's how I feel. I think at this point, we got to the point where people keep saying competition. Xbox not providing competition. The only reason this whole Activision Blizzard deal became a thing, because it was a specific game that actually aligns with PlayStation goals. If you notice, when they bought Bethesda, PlayStation gave two shits. They didn't say anything. So for the most part, as long as you're not fucking with PlayStation, you do what you want. They don't really care, right? He said Apple would even be more egregious without a viable option in Samsung's higher end offers. That's what I exactly said, and I'm gonna show you. So people don't leave if they don't obtain the requirements elsewhere. And I said, I replied to him, that's not correct. I showed him this video. I linked. I don't know if he gets to see it, but I want you to guys show this video. I want to see you guys. This is Simon Sinek. He's a very good. He does a very good job in terms of leadership, how to be a good leader. Great guy. So I highly recommend, especially if you guys are in an industry where, whether private, military, whatever, and you want to make sure you hit the right marks as a good leader. You don't want to be a manager. You don't want to be a boss. You want to be an actual leader in industry. He does very great, workshops, and he has a lot of good stuff. But listen to his story with Apple. He tried to troll one of the top execs in Apple with a Microsoft product. Now listen to this story, right? I'm gonna pause. Listen to this.
For Microsoft. I also spoke at a leadership summit for Apple. Now, at the Microsoft Summit, I would say 70% of the executives, and this was under the Steve Ballmer days, I would say about 70% of the executives spent about 70% of their presentations talking about how to beat Apple. At the Apple Summit, 100% of the executives spent 100% of their presentations talking about how to help teachers teach and how to help students learn. One was obsessed with their competition, the other one was obsessed with where they're going. So at the end of my presentation at Microsoft, they gave me a gift. They gave me the new Zune, which was the competitor to the iPod Touch when it was a thing, right? And I have to tell you, this piece of technology was spectacular. It was beautiful. The user interface was incredible. The design was amazing. It was intuitive. It was one of the most beautiful, elegant pieces of technology I'd ever seen, right? Now, it didn't work with iTunes, which is an entirely different problem. I couldn't use it. But that's something else. And I have to tell you, it is so much better than your iPod Touch. And he turned to me and said, I have no doubt. Conversation over. Because the infinite player isn't playing to be number one every day with every product. They're playing to outlast the competition. If I had said to Microsoft, oh, I've got the new iPod Touch, it's so much better than your new Zune, they would have said, can we see it? What does it do? We have to see it. Because one is obsessed with their competition, the other is obsessed with why they do what they do, the other is obsessed with where they're going. And the reason Apple frustrates their competition is because secretly, they're not even competing against them. They're competing against themselves. And they understand that sometimes you're a little bit ahead, and sometimes you're a little bit behind. And sometimes your product is better, and sometimes you're not. But if you wake up every single morning and compete against yourself, how do I make our products better than they were yesterday? How do I take care of our customers better than we did yesterday? How do we advance our cause more efficiently, more productively than we did yesterday? How do we find new solutions to advance our calling, our cause, our purpose, our belief, our why every single day? What you'll find is over time, you will probably be ahead more often. Those who play the infinite game understand it's not about the battle, it's about the war. And they don't play to win every day. And they frustrate their competition until their competition drops out of the game. Every single bankruptcy, almost every merger and acquisition is basically a company saying we no longer have the will or the resources to continue to play, and we have no choice to either drop out of the game or merge our resources with another player so that we can stay in the game. That's what that is. And if you think about the number of bankruptcies and mergers and acquisitions, it's kind of proof that most companies don't even know the game they're in. You want to be a great leader, start with empathy. You want to be a great leader, change your perspective and play the game you're actually playing.
Now, the last part was intriguing. Notice what he said. Companies that try to stay in the long game, what do? They either drop out or they do acquisitions. Y'all here? Y'all there, guys?
Wow.
Hello?
Wow. Hey, we're just letting a moment of silence reign.
Yo, like let's just sit quietly, bro.
There you go.
Because I forgot. I didn't even realize about that part. I'm like, wait a minute. He said companies that don't know what they're doing and they don't have the will to fight, they will either just bow out or they're gonna merge to continue to fight.
Yep. That's
holy fucking shit, bro. That's volumes. That speaks volumes. Bars. He said himself, and that's the point I think Sony was at right now. Sony is zero focused on PlayStation and how they're going to do things to PlayStation games. And when we're seeing it, they're excelling some areas, and some areas they're going to take L's. Yeah. You're going to win some, and there's going to be days you lose some. But I think at this point, they're not looking at Microsoft to kind of formulate a trajectory. They're going to stay their path. they're gonna do things that Apple way, or like you said, the way they always done.
Yeah.
Some decisions gonna be an L, a lot of decisions gonna be victory. But this is the course. They're only focusing on PlayStation brand, doing all these strategies, and that's it. They don't care about nothing else. Nothing else. Yeah. Notice they didn't look at Microsoft and saw that failure of a Halo show, and they said, damn, that shit didn't turn out so well. Maybe it's a bad idea that maybe we shouldn't do it, because that idea looked like they didn't care. They ignored it. They did things their way, and it's a huge success. Hell, even Twisted Metal. Well, not even like card games, but that show was good. It was good. I was like, yo, this is a good ass. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think Xbox is producing competition to the level. I don't think Sony's going to pay attention to them. I think as long as Microsoft doesn't do another move like try to buy Square Enix, you know, as long as you don't interfere with their shit, they're not going to really care about what Xbox does. And that's really the point I'm trying to make. Like, PlayStation's on their wave.
The biggest example of this was backwards compatibility. Remember how much people tried to get Sony to care about backwards compatibility for the PS3? People were like, oh my God, I can't just put a game you could play like these PlayStation discs for some reason. Yeah. And then people were like, well, why can't Sony do it? And then Sony was like, because we don't want to. Like, because we're not doing it. And we're gonna outsell them without giving you this thing, because the only backwards compatible thing that you're getting from us is PS4, and then we just move on. That's it. Like, you're taking.
You think they're ever gonna do PS3? I think at a certain point. I just think when the hardware, I think they're gonna do it.
Here's what I think. They will never. You know why? Because Jim Ryan said that you people always basically say that you want these backwards compatible games. Then when we make it backwards compatible, none of you buy it. So
they have the stats.
Yeah, exactly.
They see. That's why Microsoft discontinued adding those back compat, because they got the numbers. And here's the thing about it. Like, that's why I said we live in this echo chamber of, you know, because we're content creators of YouTube and Twitter, and it seems like that's the majority. That's less than a fraction of a percent of the people who actually care about that shit.
I can say this. If they made PS2 backwards compatible, PS1, PS3, I would never, ever use it. Ever. As soon as the PS6 comes out, I better never see a PS4 disc again. Yeah. Like, you get 2 generations. Yeah. Right? That's it. That's it. Yeah. As soon as the PS6 comes out, if I ever, you know how I feel about remasters and remakes. If I ever see a PS4 disc, I'm using that shit as a frisbee. I'm gonna be honest,
guys. As a coaster.
Most of those games,
a coaster keeps it around me. I will find it disgusting to see that blue again. As soon as PlayStation 7 comes out, I don't want to see this PS5 disc no more. I'm gonna take them down to the market. I'm gonna give them away to strangers on the street. I don't care. I'll just get them out of my life. And the thing is, I'm the majority. I had an argument with Chris Righteous about what is it? What do you want? He wanted some bullshit thing. He wanted like PlayStation to like make little indie games. They're like, oh my God, why isn't there more passion projects coming from first party? Why did they get rid of Sony in Japan? Because, man, nobody gave a shit about those games. Yeah. You want Gravity Rush 3? You're not getting it. Okay, I don't want the Gravity Rush 3 from PlayStation. I didn't support it when it came around the first time. I'm not going to support it when it comes around the next time. Okay, but people don't want Concrete Genie. They're like, oh my God, Concrete Genie was so good. It was garbage. It was a garbage game. Okay, I don't want PlayStation to be making Concrete Genie. I want them to make Death Stranding. Okay, I want them to make The Last of Us. I want them to make God of War. Itty bitty passion project games. That's what the external partnerships are for. That's the Caners. Partner with them. That's the Sifus. Partner with them.
And they usually do it better.
Get everybody else. Get everybody else that you want to partner. Exactly. You know, partner with Platinum Games if you want your little Bayonettas and everything. But from first party, I want to go to Tsushimas. Okay, I don't want the Trek to Yomis. Okay, same idea, different scale. All right, I don't care for this shit. If you want your little Jack and Daxter again, go back in time, get a time machine, go back and play for the first time. Okay, I don't want Jack and Daxter again. Okay, let's move on. Unless it's a remake, of course. In which case, you know that I want it, because you know Jack and Daxter is one of my favorite games. But the idea that I'm just gonna go and play or emulate the old version on my brand new 4K TV for what? To do what with? To have the same clunky animations where you sort of jump with square or something? Like, no. No, I don't want that. Okay, I want brand new experiences. All right, and I want brand new big budget AAA cinematic. All of the word salad that they toss at it. You know, whether like, oh, this is a movie game. That's what I want from first party studios. Okay, That's it. Everybody else, just partner with them. Okay, I don't mind if they have 1,000 Gravity Rushes, as long as PlayStation is not the one making them. That's it.
Okay.
I've always said, man, when I buy these next generation consoles, these new consoles, it's to play new games.
You want the apple pie?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, man, a lot of these fucking them old games, they do not age well. It's like, oh my God, was I playing back then? Because this shit is trash. But back then, that was the best time of my life in gaming. So, what was back in, 2000 and 99 or whatever is totally different than 2023. We've grown, consoles have grown, things have gotten better, technology has gotten better.
It's nostalgia. The nostalgia is for that's why I don't that's why people say, why don't you just play Metal Gear Solid again for PS1? I'm like, I'm not gonna ruin the nostalgia. I know it's clunky. It's going to be a terrible experience. I will not touch it. I am going to enjoy the memory I had of that game, and it stays. Absolutely. If I play that game today, it's going to ruin everything. Because
if you get a remake that is made from the ground up, then you're happy to.
Then that's different. Absolutely.
As you should.
Perfect example. I have the Capcom Street Fighter 30-year collection, which is pretty much every Street Fighter all the way up to 3, the last one, right? Mm-hmm. So all those games. So I ruined it, but I have, my memories of playing Street Fighter 2. I was playing in arcades. The amount of quarters I put in that game, I probably could have bought a car. Like, it was just insane, playing Street Fighter 2, right? So anyway, so I played it on this. It is the most slowest, clunkiest shit I have ever played, and I just can't wrap my head on how I didn't notice. Like, when you press jump, the character's like holy I'm like, I had to retune myself to play this game because it's completely different than the modern fighter. I'm like, wow, this shit is clunky and slow. But at the time, you didn't notice it, right? So it's like, like Metal Gear Solid 1, I will not play that game. No, you gotta remake it, and then I will play it. But I'm leaving that alone and stuff. But Final question. So now, I think since the leaks have been 2 for 2, you got the Portal, you got the Slim, I think it's safe to say next year, the PS5 Pro is coming, right?
Absolutely.
First question. What do you think is going to be the price point of the Pro? What do you guys think?
$550.
The safe bet.
The Pro.
The safe bet. I'm thinking $549.
$549.
But but something tells me that it's going to be between $549. I don't know. Prior to this new pricing for the slim models, I was going to be willing to bet that $399 digital probably would have been dropped to $349 and then $449 and then
they're not dropping. They're not dropping. They're not dropping.
They were never going to drop it. Ever.
Yeah. No. Not
this gen. Not this gen. Yeah.
That's why I said prior to this, I would have said that that's what they would have been. They would have did.
Yeah, but now why did you think they were ever going to drop it? Like, I never thought they would drop it.
Well, no, only because traditionally, over time, Sony does
it gets cheaper.
But there has never been a convertible PlayStation before, so you can't just use tradition.
Well, no, but I'm talking about just in general. When you release
but I'm saying that if they had done just the disc model this generation, then I would have gone with you because there's clearly room for. But as soon as they came up with the true screws, I'm like, well, if they're gonna make a convertible version, it's never gonna drop in price. I would have been surprised if it had stayed at $399 for the digital model, but honestly, $449, I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
My expectation, my expectation was, I thought they were just gonna do, again, just one model, which is the digital edition for $400 and the attachable $80, and that's it. Leave it at that. That's what I thought was going to happen. I honestly thought, I thought that was going to happen. But traditionally, if you look at all the PlayStation models, when they release a slim model, smaller form factor, the consoles will be cheaper. Like last gen, I know. One, the PlayStation is at, like you said, like people say, market determines the price point. High demand, high prices, right? PlayStation is at its highest demand ever. So Sony's taking advantage of that. So things are changed. So for me, I think the Pro might be $600. And again, the thing about the Pro, I know some people, the first thing they're gonna mention is the PlayStation 3, but it's a different scenario, different time.
Yeah,
Number one,
different
the
time.
Pro, the Pro's not the main model. It's always going to be the PS5.
Back then, you had no choice. You had no choice.
And you had no
$600.
You didn't have the alternate option. Yeah. That is true.
Yep.
And the Pro is just, I think, more for the enthusiast, high-end PlayStation gamer, which is not a lot.
It is.
It's
so
not
they're not going to make a bunch of them because guess what? That's not going to be their main seller. The main seller is going to continue to be the regular PS5.
Yeah. For every one Pro, you might see 5, 6, 7 regular PS5s on the shelf. It's not going to be the main.
We want to shy away from the 600 price point because it
you
just
think
brings
so?
Back too much history. Yeah, I think
that's why it won't be $599. It's going to be $579.
$589.
$589.
Let me ask you this:
as close to that, but they will not go over that. Let me ask you this: $599.
Let's say it's $550. Let's say it's $550, right? Let's say they go for that price point. Do you think they're gonna drop the price of the other models? Because let's say if the PS5 regular is still $500.
Oh no, they will. Mm-hmm. They will drop the price.
They have to, because that price is too. That price is too similar. If it's too similar, and then people are gonna do what they're doing now, right? They're gonna start nitpicking. What do I get versus what I don't? And will this drive here and this memory
because
here?
There's no way that for $50 extra you're getting a 20%
you can get all that power.
Advantage.
Like Digital Foundry say with the leaked specs that came out. This is going to be a 24 T-flop system. Now, I know T-flops don't mean shit, right? But in Sony's hands,
24
T-flops, a lot.
But I think the also reason I think it might be 600 is because if they're trying to pack a lot of power, because that's a lot of power, they're going to try to minimize loss as much as possible. I don't think they want this console to be a huge revenue loss for no reason when the PS5 regular is the one that's making all the money.
I mean, this is why we were against the idea of a Pro in the first place, because when you look at the finances, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Because how much room, where do I introduce this as a price point where I only have $100 to $150 delta between this and the base model? And yet I'm giving somebody like 30 to 40% more power. Like, how does that equate? Yeah. How does that make sense? Unless you're willing to breach this. Because remember, there was a time when iPhones did not breach like $800. Then they were like, it's $1,200. Like, they're used to it, you know? Yes. Yeah. So unless you're willing to go super balls deep and be like, we are going way past your expectation. This is $750 and it is what it is. Either buy it or don't. Like, you're either a baller or you're not. But I just don't see that happening.
It's hard, man.
But you got to think about it. $600 back in 2005 is a hell of a lot different than $600 in today's time, right?
True.
Back then, that shit was equivalent to like $900.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot.
You know, so you have to think about it that way.
Different
600.
economy.
I mean.
600. Yeah, 600 today is not the same as 2006.
Yeah, so it's when you compare them.
I mean, hell, the consoles are 500.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's really
nobody has an issue.
That's really a steal if you think about it, right?
Yeah,
given the day and time.
Extreme.
Is it worth it?
Extreme, you have a good point. You have a good point. What if Sony realizes like you can't just half-ass? Like, you can't just worry about, what if Sony doesn't really tiptoe the line that says, you know what, we're creating a Pro, but we're not bullshitting around. It's going to be a significant power difference, $750. Mm-hmm. Buy it. Exactly. You don't want it, don't worry about it.
You don't buy it. Exactly.
You remember
honestly,
Mark Cerny's...
that's the only way I see it happening, because I'm like... Otherwise, it's not worth it. Because if you're going to say, okay, I don't want to touch this $600 price point because of the history of...
But then the hardware ain't going to really...
Exactly. It's not going to... They're not going to take a loss on this, first of all. Like, they're not doing this for charity. You know, so it's... And they're making less volume, which means that they have to... That the margins are harder to meet because there's less of the thing that you're making. So you can't just make use of mass manufacturing. And also, people are so satisfied. People are far more satisfied with the PS5 base than they were with the PS4 base. As soon as the PS4 came out, people were like, this shit's trash.
That's true.
People are looking at the PS5 like, oh yeah, this is really great for what you're getting. So people are always, so for me, I'm like, is it even worth getting into that conversation? Like, is it worth the PR nightmare? And who are you putting it for? For like what, the 10% of the people that will be interested? So either you say, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to charge them. Or you say, you know what, it's not worth it because the margins aren't making sense. So if for me the PS5 Pro comes out, your people better get ready to see a price tag, to see some numbers in front of that and be like, whoa, I didn't
trust me.
Like, you want it? If you want it, you better want it.
Listen, this is I'm going to tell you what you're going to hear from the PC guys. They're going to say it's not. They're going to say you could have took that money and built your PC, right? You're going to hear the hating from that side. From the Xbox side, they're going to say, "Oh, that's too expensive, and that's too expensive because they're not going to have a console next year, right? They're not going to have anything that's going to compete or match that. So they're going to be hating from that standpoint. The money, right? The value thing. That's what you're going to hear from both of them sides. Now, it's Sony's job to show us why it's worth upgrading to a PS5 Pro. But I think rather it's less than them showing us why we need to buy it, because they know the majority of us are not going to buy it anyway, right? It's only for a small niche of people. People were thinking of upgrading from console, potentially going to PC, but maybe not quite worth that. But if they show you something in this PS5 Pro that is not necessarily spending $2,500, $3,000 on the PC, but it can bridge that gap where you'll be like, hey, I'm good for now. I think that's the crowd they're gonna focus on. Because I think B-Rock, you remember we did a show before. I think last generation with the PS5, the PS4 Pro, they only sold like 4 to 5 million PS4 Pros, right?
It's like it was like 1 out of 5.
Yeah, like one of every 5 was a Pro.
For every 5 PS5 Slim that got sold, only 1 Pro. So so it was a low number.
Now, I will say this. If this PS5 Pro come out next year, guarantee you, this generation is going to be extended by another 3 years. Don't expect them. For PlayStation. Don't expect them to drop a Pro next year and then 3 years later come out, 2 or 3 years later come out with a PS6.
That's what I think.
Because the tech hasn't grown enough to have such a substantial gap to even warrant that, right? Because the technology grow, and then there's a cost because they shrink the chips, they make them smaller, so that once the die is smaller, then the prices can come down where it's feasible for us, because we're at the point where $499 is that sweet spot. Whereas back in the PS2, PS3 era, $299 was that sweet spot. That's why the Xbox 360 did so well, right? That $299 price point was just everything. So I think it just kind of, that's how it has to go. I don't think they're just going to throw money like that away. I could be wrong, but come out with a Pro and then a couple of years later they move on to the PS6. Because 24 T-flops, I don't care whether it's full RDNA 2 or what. That's a lot of fucking power under Sony's belt. Look what they're doing with 9 T-flops and 10 T-flops, right?
It's what is it? 9.2.
1.5 GCN hybrid. Hey man, shout out to
I can't shout out to the Xbox.
Shout out to my man Post Up, man. Hey, god damn.
Oh god,
it's the biggest L
it's
I've ever took.
GCN hybrid. When he said that, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not. Listen, we're gonna end the show with that one. GCN hybrid. I'm done. I was like, Post, I'm done, bro. Like, you bugging now. Like, oh man. Anyway, man. Hey, JayDub, it was good to see from you, man. Let's do our
definitely,
outro.
Brother. Definitely. Y'all know where to find me, man. Find me on Twitter at JayDubCity16. Trying to keep you guys laughing with all the GIFs and the memes. Also, go to my YouTube, JayDub for you. I'm gonna start putting some more content on there. I might do a video tomorrow. Anyway, y'all know where to find me, man.
All right. Hey, this is your only friend, these YouTube Streets, PorterRock77. I hope you enjoy another episode 60 Frames No Lag podcast. I will catch you guys next week again. You guys take care. Enjoy your time. And remember, man, always keep it gaming, all right? Keep this conversation gaming. Peace. And hit the like button on your way out. Before you click on the X, click on the thumb. Help a brother out.
I'm being lazy.
We hurting. I'm asking for spare change. It's the holiday season. All right. Please be generous this holiday season. Hit the like button. All right. You guys take care. Peace.